Christian Eagles. And Larry, good to have you in here. JD had a wedding to attend tonight. I know he really wanted to be here, but my first call was to my old friend Larry here, and good to have you back up here in the booth. And obviously you're back in the school part-time, so still have a great connection with the kids. And hey, PC football is back once again.
Well, it's always exciting to watch some Pella Christian football. I'll try to shake off the rust here a little bit, and we'll see how it goes, but looking forward to tonight.
Well, and as we look forward to tonight's matchup, it could be one of the closest games in a rivalry that's been lopsided. Since the Bound era, Pella Christian has won all 10 matchups against Pleasantville. So we'll hear from both coaches here in a minute, so we're going to keep things kind of short with our thoughts here, Larry. But if there's been a year that Pleasantville can maybe knock off the Eagles, this might be the year. The Trojans have a couple really talented players in their backfield at quarterback and running back, and Pella Christian's got a little bit of the injury bug. So Pella Christian has got this rivalry owned, but tonight could be as close as it's been in several years.
Pleasantville looks like a dangerous team from Pella Christian's perspective, in my opinion. I think offensively, Pleasantville has a very balanced attack. Of course, they've got the featured running back who's leading Class 1A in rushing right now. And Pella Christian has given up a lot of points this year, so it's going to be an interesting game to see how it plays out. I think especially Pella Christian defense versus Pleasantville offense.
As we said, we got a lot to get to here in our pregame. We've got 2 pregame interviews. So back-to-back, you're going to hear from head coach Rich Kakmarinsky of the Eagles. We're going to take a break, and then we'll have Mac Jorth as well. This is Pella Christian High School football. You're listening, powered by Bank Iowa, on KNIA KBLS.com and on the Pella Christian Schools YouTube channel, thanks to that amazing team and their incredible work. Bank Iowa is a proud supporter of area athletics. They hope for all of our football teams this fall that great success is on the way. So
let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. When we come back, our 2 coaches break down this matchup between the Eagles and Trojans. Class 1A District 6 football action starting in about 25 minutes on KNIA KBLS.
Do you need new gear to show off your love for Pella or Pella Christian? At Windmill Print and Stitch, you can shop our online apparel store and pick up your order the same day at our facility in Pella. And we'll give 10% back to the local schools. Go to the Windmill Print and Stitch Facebook page and look for the link for Pella and Pella Christian fanwear. Shop online and pick up your order the same day. Windmill Print and Stitch and Pella, proud supporters of the Dutch and Eagles.
Discover the beauty of nature at Flower Court Garden Center in Newton. Explore a stunning array of perennials, trees, and shrubs to transform your outdoor space. From garden essentials to indoor plant treasures, find all you need for a flourishing garden and home. And now you can elevate you or your friend's surroundings with captivating fresh floral arrangements expertly crafted just for you. Stop by the Flower Court Garden Center and Fresh Flowers to get your color's worth.
Are you a Pella Cooperative Electric member? Grab your keys and head over to the co-op on Saturday, September 16th for our Member Appreciation Drive-Thru Barbecue. The Marion County Cattlemen will be grilling up top-notch hamburgers and hot dogs from locally sourced beef. Stop by anytime from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. or until supplies last. We'll also be giving away bill credits on our Facebook page the week of the event, so watch our page for details. We'll see you on Saturday, September 16th. Owned by those we serve, we are Pella Cooperative Electric.
The horn on the car goes beep, 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 beep. The horn on the car goes beep, beep, beep. That's Central Tire and Auto.
You probably don't need your horn fixed, but if you do, Central Tire and Auto can help with your horn and almost any other issue you have. For tires, front end work, there are no appointment oil change, and full mechanical work on your vehicle. Stop and see Sean DeWard and his crew next to Walmart in Pella. Everybody now.
Central Tire and Auto.
And welcome back to our pregame coverage on 92.1 KBLS. Andrew Schneider with Rich Kakmarinsky as we preview the Pella Christian Pleasantville matchup. And Coach, district football is here. It's what you've been practicing for and working toward all preseason and with your slate of games. First of all, how do you feel about the team, knowing you ran into a really tough buzzsaw last week in Grundy Center, and where you're at heading into this important stretch?
Well, actually, I think all 3 of our non-district games have prepared us well. I mean, I think we faced a fairly elite passer in Des Moines Christian. First game won, and so that was, I thought we passed that test. I thought we faced an elite running game in PCM on game 2, plus their defensive line was humongous, and so that was really a challenge for us. And then obviously to win the game in double overtime was a real thrill. We did run into a buzzsaw last week. They are a very good football team. They run it well, they throw it well. I felt like we didn't play our best Grundy Center probably had something to say about that. But I think we could play better than we did. So this has been a refocusing week, and getting back to basics, getting back to things that we do well in all three phases. So I feel good about our preparation this past week, and I feel good about our preparation for 6 weeks. I feel like everything we've done has gotten us to the point now where I feel like we're ready for district play.
Well, and it's a Pleasantville team on the other side, Coach. It's playing some of its best football in several years. Stronger team than a couple. Coach Jorth has his guys playing well. Your thoughts about what you've seen? They've had a pretty tough preseason schedule too, and they come into hungry, wanting to beat people.
Absolutely. They're much improved, as you said. Got a big back, 900 total yards. Impressive. That's 300 yards a game. Who you're playing, 300 yards a game. So we know we have our work cut out offensively. Like their defense is much ball well. So I think that, but I like our team. I think that we'll play well tonight. Obviously, we did not play well in the line of scrimmage last week against Grundy. And again, I think Grundy has something to say about that. But we've got, in my mind, that's going to be a point of emphasis for us. I think for us to win this football game against Pleasantville, we've got to win the line of scrimmage on both sides. And we've got to tackle well. So that's going to be, I think, some keys for us.
Well, and so often when you have two teams that can run the ball as well as both do, it's maybe even more important to get off to a strong start, especially, as you said, not only controlling the line of scrimmage, but controlling the football, right, and staying in your rhythm, because it's going to be hard to come back. If either team gets a lead, they're going to bleed some clock.
Well, that's what happened to us last week. We had one possession in the first the first quarter against Grundy. Our second possession occurred midway through the second quarter. Well, it's hard to get on track offensively when you have that few touches. Now, again, I tip my hat to Grundy. I think that was their game plan, and they have the horses to do it. But we got to get off the field defensively better, and we've got to offensively sustain drives. We had a really nice first drive in the first quarter. Did not matriculate any points out of it. So that's what we got to do tonight. We've got to own the football, drive it, get first downs, put the ball in the end zone. To your point, maybe tonight our best defense is a good offense, and particularly ball control offense.
Well, and when we talk about the district, and it's shorter now, obviously, these last couple of seasons, only playing the 8 games, you've got to get out and have some success, especially if Pleasantville is one of the better teams when we get to the postseason. If you want to have a home game, if you want to be the district champion, this is the kind of team, Coach, you're probably going to have to be. It's going to be tough, but something I'm sure that's a goal from the coaching staff perspective. This is a pretty important one to kick off the district season if you want to walk away with that #1 seed. No question at all. I mean, obviously, the way the district race has worked out the last few years, you got to go 5-0 in the district. And if you don't, you're not going to get the #1 seed. You're not going to host in the playoffs. So this is step one. This is step one to undefeated district championship. This is step one to a #1 seed. This is step one to hosting the first 2 rounds in the playoffs at our place, which we love our new turf. We would really like to do that. So there's a lot at stake here. The 3 preseason games, call them preseason, 3 non-district games in the 1A have no district, no playoff implications, no RPI. I mean, so those are all, to use an NFL term, those were all preseason games, and they were good, as I mentioned. I think those 3 games, got us ready. They exposed some weaknesses in us. They tested us in certain phases. We got stronger in certain areas. And so, I mean, I'm really proud of our kids. We're starting 9 new starters on offense from last year and 7 new starters on defense from last year. And to be 2-1 at this point and to play as well as we have, I'm really proud of our kids. And I think that bodes well for our district schedule. Well, it should be a whole lot of fun regardless. Rich Kakmarsky joining us here to preview tonight's matchup with Pleasantville. Coach, all the best to you, and we'll see you after the game.
Thank you.
Now, pep up nachos, pizza, wow, you can pep up anything, pepperoni. Pep it up, it's the one and only. Pep it up, Hormel pepperoni.
Configuring the Bluetooth. Deciding who controls the music. Remembering where you parked. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with an auto owner's insurance independent agent, getting the right coverage for your vehicle doesn't have to be one of them. So you can get back to more important things, like remembering if you're on the 3rd or 4th level of the parking garage. That's simple human sense.
Ask me, Lance Klein, at the Verduff Agency in Pella, if auto owners make sense for you.
Hi, this is Tracy Gaffman with Two Rivers Cooperative. There are several places around town that you can go to get a new bottle of propane for your grill. But have you ever read the fine print? Most of those places only give you 15 pounds in your bottle. At Two Rivers, we always fill your tank to maximum capacity, which means you'll get as much as 20% more LP. And when your favorite steak is still cooking on the grill and the in-laws are waiting to eat, you'll really appreciate that extra 20%. Refill your tank at Two Rivers Co-op today.
Looking for a professional tiling service that supports your local community? Look no further than Norm Rosendahl Tiling. Caritha and her team believe that community is what makes us great, and they're dedicated to supporting our local events, high school athletes, and fine arts students. And if you need tiling done right, call Norm Rosendahl Tiling at 641-259-2651. They're ready to help you with any tiling needs you may have. Remember, supporting our local community is the key to making our town great. Choose Norm Rosendahl Tiling, and let's build a better community together.
Here with Pleasantville head football coach Matt Jorth to preview this Week 4 Iowa High School football matchup between Pleasantville as they head on the road to face the Pella Christian Eagles. Coach, obviously a tough loss last week, but a lot of positives came from that against Linville Sully. You want to just talk about some of the positive things that you...
Yeah, I think our guys played really hard, and I think for the majority of the game, they played really well. A lot of good things they did, a lot of plays they made. Just too many mistakes cost us. I mean, turnovers will kill you, block punts will kill you. You got to always credit the other team because they try to force your hand when there's turnovers and block punts. That means they're doing something well on their side and they're really getting after it over there. So Linville Sully is a very good team that's very aggressive. I like the way they play football. I really felt like we played just as good a football. We played just as aggressive and executed pretty well in a lot of different areas, but just too many mistakes cost us in the long run. So it was a real good football game, a real good high school football game. Both teams played really hard. Our guys did a lot of really nice things, and we just really focused this week on trying to clear up some of those little mistakes that got us and make sure we take some good steps forward so we can compete against some good teams here in the next couple weeks.
And looking ahead to this week, face Pella Christian. They had a rough week last week. But they are 2-1 in the season. If you kind of want to talk about what you expect from Pella Christian for them to bring.
Yeah, they're going to be another really good football team. Also very physical, very aggressive, very well coached, very good at what they do. So it'll be another tough test for us. I'm excited about what we can do. I think we've shown some good potential, so it'll be an exciting matchup for us. But it'll definitely be a tough test for us again. 2 weeks in a row, very physical football. So we'll see how we manage our taking care of our bodies and the physical part of the game and making sure we're ready to go and be healthy that way.
On the offensive side of the football, obviously you may get tired of me asking about him, but Caleb Cook has just really kind of dominated. Yeah. Over 750 all-purpose yards in just 3 games and 10 touchdowns. Not often do you see that much production from one player. Do you just want to talk about Caleb and how he's contributed to your offense?
Yeah, I don't know how many different good things I can say about the young man. He's had a phenomenal season. He really did an awesome job creating for himself again Friday. He's just shown such an ability to break tackles, make guys miss, and just find the open space and run away from guys. So he's doing a phenomenal job. He's a very good athlete and great kid, so it's really exciting to see him do what he's doing. And we'll just continue to try to find ways to protect him. Teams are going to key on him, so we got to make sure that we have other ways to attack. And I really was also pleased with the way we found other guys. And we're pretty balanced running and passing the ball against Linville Sully, so I think that showed a nice ability to be balanced and find other ways to attack. But Caleb is going to get his because he does such a good job, and we'll just keep developing that and seeing how it goes.
You just kind of alluded to the fact, and we had talked about it after the Woodward Granger game, but me and you both know that teams are going to be scouting Caleb. Sure. They're going to be focusing on him. How important is it that your team is able to be two-dimensional? That's the football, and you can do it at about a 50-50.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's offensive football to a T, right? Like you can't just put all your eggs in one basket, and you have to try to have answers for whatever defense can do. And so we just continue to try to develop our package and our offense and have our answers for what a defense might present, and I think we've shown a lot of different guys able to do that, and I'm very excited about those different weapons we have. And I think a lot of different players have stepped up and made some big plays and done a nice job as well to help round out our offense. So it just is a very fun group to coach and an exciting group to keep developing and see what can happen on a Friday night.
On the defensive side of the football, if another team was to watch film on your defensive side of the football, what are some of the things that in the first 3 games, these non-district games, would they say that your defense?
I hope they would see a very physical football team as well, flying around. I think one thing we've really focused on this week is really making sure everybody is flying the football until that whistle blows. So hopefully we'll see more of that this week as well. But I think, just being physical, being aggressive, flying to that football, and doing what we're trying to do well.
And just to close out the interview, just you look at your first 3 games, your non-district games, as you head now into district play. What would you say as head coach is some of the biggest things you've learned?
That we are pretty dynamic, we're pretty explosive and well balanced. We got a lot of playmakers and a lot of guys who love playing the game and are doing a really good job playing the game at a high level. Yep.
At Pella Motors, we won't be beat on price, period. So if you're looking for a great deal on a brand new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram, and saving big money makes you happy, Pella Motors will not be beat on price, period.
At Pella Real Estate Services, we do more than help people buy and sell homes. For some, renting is a better option. Hi, this is Brett Staten, and we have more than 300 rental units under our umbrella, now including High Point Apartments. All of our properties are owned by local investors who care about our community, so we make sure they're kept clean and well maintained by a team of local, experienced handymen. If renting is the right choice for you, call 628-1-BUY for Pella Real Estate Services.
Brown Shoe Fit Pella is ready for fall. We have a great selection of business, casual, and everyday shoes from your favorite brands like Birkenstock, House, Echo, and Dansko. And at Brown Shoe Fit Pella, we have all your favorite athletic shoe brands like On Cloud, Hoka, Brooks, and New Balance. Don't forget, Brown Shoe Fit Pella has a work boot selection that works as hard as you do. Shop Brown Shoe Fit Pella. We're with you every step.
Laley is proud to be the title sponsor of today's Laley Radio Sports page on KNIA and KRLS. We know how important local sports are to everyone in South Central Iowa, and this innovative program will keep you up to date on all the happenings with your favorite local teams and athletes. At Laley, we're innovating for our customers as well, providing dairy farm automation for producers all over the world. With our North American headquarters right here in Pella, we're proud to be part of the community. Tune in for today's Laley Radio Sports page every weekday on KNIA and KRLS.
And welcome back to Eagle Lane on KNIA KRLS and the Pella Christian YouTube. Andrew Schneider and Larry Hessing taking you home to our opening kick presented by Dutch Mill Supply. Let's take a look at our Hormel Foods radio keys to this game. And for Pella Christian's success tonight, it feels like they've got to get some sort of fast start, Larry. They got to get an early lead because Pleasantville is such a run-heavy attack.
Yeah, that would really help Pella Christian. I think it would maybe dictate a little bit what they can do defensively. I mentioned to you earlier that Pella Christian just has too many tackles the second and third level, and I think that Mr. Cook from Pleasantville, if he gets loose a little bit, that's going to be tough sledding for Pella Christian.
Well, we'll keep this thought held. We're going to do the prayer and the national anthem. Your Hormel Foods radio keys to the game. Looking for the key to your new career, visit HormelJobsKnoxville.com. Take a second, and we'll be back after this.
Today through Sunday at Hy-Vee, swipe your Fuel Saver Plus Perks Rewards card and earn a 25-cent Fuel Saver savings for every $50 you spend. Plus, swipe and save great deals throughout the store like whole seedless watermelon for $3.99, 80% ground beef for $2.99, and Bush's baked beans for $1.99. Limits and restrictions do apply, and you have to swipe your Fuel Saver Plus Perks Rewards card to get the savings this Friday through Sunday at your Pella, Oskaloosa, and Knoxville Hy-Vee.
Wondering where to go for all your hardware and plumbing needs? Look no further than Gilchrist Jewett Hardware and Design Center. They have everything from nuts, bolts, and screws to plumbing supplies, and as always, they carry lumber and building supplies. And if you need help with your flooring, kitchen, or bathroom remodel, their design specialists are here to help with the space planning, layout, and material selection. Don't waste any more time running from store to store. Come to Gilchrist Jewett Hardware and Design Center and get everything you need in one convenient location.
At Marion County Bank, we go beyond banking. Isn't that right, Dylan?
Yeah, put me in, Coach.
Well, that's not quite the idea, but I like your spirit. Our local teams are going beyond the classroom as they prepare for a new season. And while we won't be putting on the pads or memorizing new songs, we go beyond banking to serve you and share in the life of the community. Check out How We Go Beyond Banking on Facebook, Instagram, or at MarionCountyBank.com.
Marion County Bank, serving you, building community. Member FDIC.
A great drive on the field is key in football. It's also our goal for you behind the wheel. Hi, this is Jason from Lauterbach Buick GMC. We have the winning game plan for the purchase of your new or quality pre-owned vehicle. Come check out the all-new 2024 Buick Envista and Encore GX, or the redesigned GMC Sierra, and get 2.9% financing for 60 months. Be ready for the long drive with a top-notch body shop and service center. On your team since 1981, Lauterbach Buick GMC, I-80 Speedway exit 168, or online at cars.com.
And now we're back inside our pregame coverage as we were in the middle of our Hormel Foods radio keys to the game. Andrew Schneider and the Hall of Famer Larry Hessing. Larry, we talked about Pleasantville's rushing attack and their ability to move the ball effectively on the ground and burn time. I think another area to watch is turnovers. It typically is in any football game, but especially when you have these long, potential 5-6 minute drives, possessions are at a premium.
Yeah, big plays are big, and special teams always play into it as well. Pella Christian's special teams, for the most part, have performed very well this year. Kind of a bounce-back game, though, for both teams, coming off of losses. And Coach Cack is a very positive person around his players. But he kind of called them out a little bit, I thought, after the game last week. And he says, we played poorly. And he said that it started offensively. I just started with defense, but he actually started with offense. And back to you, what you said, Andrew. Pella Christian needs to kind of get off to a fast start.
Well, and the other thing to watch, Isaiah Bream's out tonight. He injured himself in practice. He will likely be out at least several weeks. So a critical piece of the outside blocking game, and also maybe more importantly defensively, an area where DC's been a little weak so far has been that front seven, and losing Breams in that front seven makes them vulnerable to a team that can really attack you between the guards.
Yeah, Isaiah is a valuable player because he's got experience, 6'4", and about 195, 200 pounds. Hard to replace a football player like that.
So we'll see how that all shakes out. Once again, your Hormel Foods radio keys to the game. Let's take a look at your game time temperature presented by Van Haften Plumbing and Heating. Can't get much better than this. 67 degrees. Had some light rain move through the area. It'll stay dry the remainder of the evening, it appears. So perfect night for Iowa high school football. Your game time temperature presented by Van Haften Plumbing and Heating. They're your local heating and cooling experts. You'll rest easy when you pick up the phone. And here,
Van Haften's.
We're live inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth on KNIA KRLS.com via the KRLS 2 stream and on the Pella Christian YouTube channel. Pella Christian, by the way, won the toss. They will receive the opening kick presented by Dutch Mill Supply. Dutch Mill Supply is your only locally owned lumberyard and building material supplier. A fresh 12 minutes on the clock. Pleasantville's key players tonight are presented by our friends at Miniga Pest Control. So take a look here at some of our key players in this game. Caleb Cook at running back, Ryder Phil at quarterback. Your wide receivers, Carter Bingham, Trent Jolly, and Dason Learoff. Your Pleasantville key players for Pella Christian, it's Caleb Van Arendonk at quarterback, Benny Schurz and Johnson Morgan at running back, Cooper Sprunk at receiver. Your key players of the game presented by Miniga Pest Control. Sean and his team want to kill your bugs.
Call 628-3198. Miniga Pest Control.
Number 32, Edwin Escalante, is the kicker for the Trojans, and he has the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. For our streaming audience tonight, the Trojans are in their road white uniforms, working right to left. Pella Christian is working from north to south, left to right, and receive our opening kick presented by Dutch Mill Supply. Sprunk is back deep to return, as is Benny Schurz at their own 5-yard line. Kick is up. It's a high end-over-end kick, and that is returnable by Schurz right at the 1-yard line. He'll have it 10-yard line to the 20. Benny makes one defender miss, and he'll fall ahead just shy of the 25, and that's where Pella Christian will take over. 1st and 10 to kick off this district game in Class 1A District 6. So Pella Christian will have it at the 24 near hash, 1st and 10. Eagles are at 2-1. Pleasantville at 2-1. They're one of 3 teams in District 6 in Class 1A. Feels like they can win the district title this year. Sigourney Keota, the defending district champions, looming large for both these teams. A bunch formation for Caleb and Aaron Donkin Company, 1st and 10. Handoff will go right side up to the 30-yard line. A good gainer for Cooper. Sprunk out of the backfield of 6.
Cooper put both arms around that football, so he was going to protect the football first before he thought about a good cut or making good contact with somebody.
Near side receiver is Camden Parker. He's lined up at the 30-yard line, 2nd and 4. Pella Christian with an empty backfield this time for Van Arendonk. Motion man, jet sweep handoff, turning upfield to the 30, and just shy of the first down sticks. It's Noah Nunakoven.
Haven't seen Noah Nunakoven running much out of that slot back position, but he and Benny Schurz both up just behind the line of scrimmage in slot positions that time.
That's up 3rd and short. Pella Christian at their own 33-yard line, scoreless. 11:05 and counting. Opening quarter. Another jet sweep handoff. This time the Trojans swarming the backfield and not fooling them there. The initial contact was made by number 74, Logan Courtney, as Benny Schurz was swallowed for a loss of 2.
Yeah, and I missed the number for the Pleasantville Trojan, but good penetration through that offensive line. And the same play run to the opposite side did not work for Pella Christian.
That's up 4th down now as Trevor Veenstra, state champion from the track and field team this past spring. Discus ring is set to punt this one away. A couple of Trojans back deep to return. Low line drive kick, returnable. Number 10, Logan Roth, far sideline at the 40, 45, makes the defender miss. He's into Eagles territory before he's dragged out of bounds near the 41-yard line. So the Trojans with excellent starting field position. Larry, that punt was a low liner, and those are usually returnable, and great open field moves by Roth to give the Trojans great starting position.
And a low line drive is really not a typical trajectory from Trevor Veenstra. He usually booms them way up in the air, but the return man also made Noah Nunakoven a short tackler miss there early on and had a nice return.
Wind has been variable here tonight. It's 1st and 10 for Ryder Thill and Company as the Pleasantville Trojans have it deep in Eagles territory, and they're going to get 5 more yards added to it on the hard count. Of course, the man of the hour to watch, Larry, is in the backfield, number 5. That is Caleb Cook. But Ryder Thill using his skills there to force the first laundry of the evening, a 5-yarder against the Eagles defensive line. Scoreless game with 10:13, clock is stopped. Pleasantville is at the 37-yard line of Pella Christian, 1st and 5. 2 receiver I formation, a very traditional Trojan set for Coach Jorth and Company. Motion man across the formation for Thill under center. Handoff will go to the fullback, and he'll fight for yardage. At a yard shy of the first down, that's number 7, Owen Rule. A little bit of deception here, Larry. First a hard count, and now a handoff to the guy you don't expect it to go to.
Yep, a little sleight of hand there, giving it to the up back for a quick forge ahead.
Now 2nd and 1, the playbook is wide open for Pleasantville at the Eagles' 33-yard line. Another I formation for Ryder Thill. Quarterback sneak. Playbook was wide open, Larry, but instead we'll just take the yard and reset the sticks.
Yep. Coach Jorth just said, let's get this first down and start over.
Especially with kind of this variable wind, Larry. I don't know how much you want to risk a deep throw or deep shot to the end zone. Go with what's worked so far for you this season, and the Trojans have it 1st and 10. Pleasantville, by the way, ranked number 10 in the BC Moore poll. That's the first time in several years they've been in any kind of rankings, and obviously a different Trojans team on the field. Thill is in a shotgun formation with Caleb Cook to his left, 2 receivers in the formation. 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Caleb Cook. He's got an edge at the 30, shakes the defender at the 25. He's dragged out of bounds before he lost the football, but he was clearly stepped on the out of bounds line, at least according to the far side official. Get a good chunk of yardage there, about 8.
And Cook is not a big back. I call him a scat back, about 5'10", 155. So he's quick and fast and jumped to the outside on that play.
2nd and 2. Pleasantville has it at the Pella Christian 23-yard line, threatening to score early. 0-0, 9:04 first quarter. That's a handoff to Cook, bounces it right side. Good job by the Eagles as they kept swarming probably 4 or 5 different PC defenders Saw Brecken Ritzert over there and a few others that stop him for a loss of a yard.
Looks like Caden Croyd might be the man in for Isaiah Breams, number 2, all 6'9", 190 pounds.
Not hard to miss. Yeah, very, very tall Caden Croyd. 3rd and 3. This is the first third down try for the Trojans. They have it in very likely 4-down territory. I formation. Caleb Cook is the tailback in this set. Hand off to Cook, big hole up the middle. He's inside the 20 and down to the 18. He needed 3, he got 5, and it's a Trojans first down inside the Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone. Straight ahead, that's old school. How many years has Pleasantville run that play, Larry?
Yeah, left side of the offensive line got a good push.
Trojans again are at 2-1. It's their best start in several years. Really one of the best teams on paper they've had since they played the Eagles to go to the Dome several years ago. 4-receiver single back formation. Pella Christian nearly jumps offside. Still will step back from the formation. Scoreless game in the Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone. Trojans and Eagles. Cook gets it again. The bell cow back, and this time he's met by Trevor Veenstra and a few others, including Cooper Sprunk, for a short gain.
Yeah, the Trojans went back to that left side, and I see why they got a good push. Number 74, like left offensive tackles, listed at 6'4", 296 pounds.
Logan Courtney, he had that defensive stop in the backfield against Pella Christian on 3rd down as well. So a player to watch. Trojans in the Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone. 7:30 remaining opening quarter. Scoreless game, but Pleasantville threatening on 2nd and 10 from the 18. Shotgun formation for Ryder Thill. 2 receivers far side of the formation. Fake the handoff. Thill keeps it himself, and he will be wrapped up nicely by Brecken Ritzert. The Eagles played that one beautifully, Larry. Great outside contain, and Ritzert did a great job of making sure and not following Cook to the other side of the field.
Yeah, the 2 cornerbacks for Pella Christian have really played well, I think, so far this year. Brecken on one side and Nanakoven on the other side.
So no gain on the play makes it 3rd and 10, maybe even a loss of the yard there. But regardless, the Trojans running some reinforcements on the field. 15 seconds on the play clock, 6:48 on the game clock. In Eagles territory, 3rd and long. 3 receivers far side of the formation for Phil in a shotgun with Cook to his right. Phil to pass for the first time. Instead, it's a delay keeper. Sheds 1 tackle, and he's wrapped up nicely again. Caden Croyd had another nice stop in the open field. Trevor Veenstra had the initial contact on him, Larry. Holds him just to a 4-yard gain.
So now we're going to find out if indeed this is 4-down territory, and I got to believe it is. I haven't looked at the field goal statistics. Definitely looks like the Trojans are going to go for this.
At worst, if you can get Pella Christian to jump off sides and make it 4th and 3. So the Eagles, Larry, watch the football here.
Yep, they need to be disciplined.
Number 7, Owen Rule, the fullback, is in. Still 10 seconds on the play clock. Trojans rushing to the line in a shotgun formation. 3 seconds on the play clock, under 6 to play, scoreless. 4th down, Phil passing. Has all sorts of time, but nobody's open. Heaves it to the end zone. That pass is tipped away by Ritzert. Beautiful coverage in the end zone, Larry. Nobody was open. Phil had nowhere to go with the football. It's a turnover on downs and a huge defensive stand for the Eagles.
Yeah, and Phil had some time initially, but then the Eagle pressure started getting to him. Phil has a really nice 67% completion percentage this year, so that was a big play. Turnover on downs for Pella Christian.
So Pella Christian will get the ball at their own 15-yard line, so a good defensive stand after a nice start to the drive for Pleasantville. Makes it 1st and 10, Pella Christian. Eagles 0, Trojans 0. A Marion County rivalry renewed, the 11th time in the Bound era these teams have played. It's been all Eagles 10-0 in the series. Trojans trying to turn that fortune here tonight. Jet sweep in motion. There was a couple of confused Eagles, and the Trojans bottle it up nicely. Sprunk ends up losing a yard. It's number 55 for the Trojans. Jury Ellis is the judge and jury on that play, Larry. There was no chance for PC. That line just blew it up.
Yeah. Now this is a totally unrelated thought, but I am just not seeing Johnson Morgan out there right now. So, we're going to have to get an answer here.
Benny Schurz faked the motion. Van Arendonk is set to pass it. Finds Sprunk on the open field at the 20. He'll shed a tackle, and another at the 25-30. Far sideline 35. A great open field play by Cooper Sprunk that springs the Eagles to their first down.
Yeah, Cooper's an athlete out there. He's really a hard hitter on defense, but on offense, he's got some speed, and he can make people miss.
Just a junior. The Sprunk brothers obviously fairly close in age, so Bennett slips out here tonight. I'm sure he'll be very happy to see that on the Pella Christian YouTube channel. 1st and 10 Eagles at their own 37-yard line. As Van Arendonk, now, is by himself in the backfield. Schurz is in motion. They'll pitch it to him on an option. He has some space near sideline to the 40, 45, burst of speed, 50 into Trojans territory, stays in bounds. No, they'll say out of bounds at the 37-yard line. But another great gainer here for Pella Christian. Give him 26 and an Eagles first down. Schurz was one step away from Pater.
And a great block by Cooper Spronk. Seal the man inside. And the runner to get on the outside.
So 1st and 10, Pella Christian's in the Trojans territory at the 37-yard line. Caleb Van Arendonk in a pistol formation with Sprunk behind him. Cooper gets it right side. He has some space, and he'll lunge ahead to the 31. Jerry Ellis with the stop, but not before. PC picks up 6. And now all of a sudden, Larry, the Eagles offense has some life. That pass play seemed to open some things up for him.
Yeah. Cooper Sprunk splitting out wide once in a while, playing out in the slot, moving him around a little bit.
Sprunk is right now getting primary tailback duties. Triangle pistol formation again. Sprunk straight ahead. He's close to a first down. Just went off left guard right behind Trevor Veenstra. And I think he's near the sticks here. We'll see what the spot is.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of carries tonight that he's not used to, and he is really understanding ball security. He's got both arms around that football every time. And I do see Caleb Morgan walking down here in uniform on the sideline. So we'll see how this plays out.
Well, for now, it's going to be a busy night for Cooper Sprunk and Benny Schurz. 1st and 10, the Eagles' third first down of the series. Scoreless 0-0. Clock is running with 4:10 remaining opening quarter. Each defense has had a stop so far. Pitch out from Van Arendonk behind the line of scrimmage. Man in motion is Nunakoven, and he gets a couple. His second carry of the night gets him to the Trojans' 25-yard line, flips the field on the hash mark, sets up the Eagles at 2nd and 8.
Noah with sprinter speed, but not quite as much size as some of the other backs. Not probably going to break a lot of tackles, but hopefully he can make some people.
On the edge of the Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone, we mentioned the wind is whipping across the field tonight from west to east, so something to keep an eye on here if there's any field goal scenarios. Man in motion is Schurz. He'll pitch it out right side. Great blocking in front of him. He's up to the 20, inside the Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone, right at the sticks. I think he got it, Larry. A gain of 8 yards, and Benny Schurz, after that initial hit behind the line of scrimmage, that blocking, you mentioned it earlier from Cooper, and some of those receivers are really working downhill.
Yeah, and that time there was a great cutback against the grain there by Benny. Really good read on his blocks, and then he gets yards after contact.
1st and 10, Pella Christian at the 17-yard line of Pleasantville. Triangle pistol formation again for Caleb Van Arendonk. It's a multi-sport athlete. Deception here on the play action. He has Sprunk at the 10-yard line. Pass is complete, and Sprunk is whipped out of bounds near the sticks.
That is one of Pella Christian's favorite little pass plays. Run Cooper Sprunk out to the flat after a fake handoff, and then Caleb just plays pitch and catch with Cooper.
Make sure that hopefully Cooper had his water and Gatorade and everything else this week. 2nd and 1. Ball is at the Pleasantville 8-yard line. We're here in the first quarter, 2:50 remaining. Pleasantville and Pella Christian tied at 0. Both teams now have been in the Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone. Empty backfield for Van Arendonk on 2nd and 1. Schurz in motion. Straight handoff to him, and this time the Trojans knew it was coming. Larry, I think it was the first handoff. It was a handoff that first time Schurz never got called. He got met in the backfield for a loss. The pitch out, Larry, has given them enough time, but that handoff that the Trojans have been reading, that's a loss of 4.
Yeah, and again, it was the big tackle, number 74, Courtney, who got in the backfield. He's a tough one to block right now for Pella Christian's offensive line.
Almost 300 pounds, at least listed. I'm sure he'd be happily claiming the 300-pound title now. Bunch formation for the Eagles, 3rd and 5. Van Arendonk, straight ahead keeper. He's got student body right. He's inside the 10, and he's into the end zone. 6 for the Eagles. Touchdown, Pella Christian. Caleb Van Arendonk on 3rd down. Scampers for 12.
What good vision there by Caleb Van Arendonk. It looked like he wanted to cut it up inside, but then saw the space on the outside, and it made a guy miss, really, and then just bounced it to the outside.
It's an early contender for our Randall Roofing raise the roof moment of the game. Both teams in the red zone. But it's the Eagles defense, Larry, making a stop at their own 15-yard line, and it's Pella Christian going 85 yards to get on top.
Impressive drive.
Talked about the loss of Isaiah Breams here for a few weeks. He's also the regular long snapper, but no issues here as the point after attempt for Camden Parker is good. With 2:10 remaining in our opening quarter, Pella Christian strikes first, 7-0. Inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth, Eagles on top of the Trojans.
Raise the roof moment of the game and support our local teams.
It is received by Benny Schurz. He'll return it. He's got a hole. He's at the 35, 40, 50. One man to beat. Schurz will beat him. 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. Benny Schurz opens the 2023 season with a kickoff return for a touchdown.
When it's time for a new roof, think Randall Roofing. Find us on Facebook or visit randallroofs.com. Thinking new roof? Think Randall Roofing.
We know you have choices when it comes to wireless plans for your home or business. At Strauber Cellular, we strive to be that local expert to provide all the service and expertise you need to make U.S. Cellular your choice for wireless service. Our knowledgeable staff can provide you with everything from smartphones and tablets to home internet and security options. Choose Strauber Cellular, your locally owned authorized agent for U.S. Cellular in downtown Pella.
Live inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth as Pella Christian set to kick this one away. Conversation happening here between Parker and the official. But Larry, 85 plays, our longest drive, presented by Gilchrist Hewitt Hardware and Design Center. The Eagles 5 first downs on that series, and it was methodical. They had a couple plays behind the sticks there near the end, but they overcame that. A couple of short passes, and Pella Christian's offense looked as good as they have all season.
Yeah, you stated from the top how important it was for Pella Christian to jump on top. Coach Kakmarinsky kind of said last week, it needed to start with the offense, keep the ball away from the opponent, and that's exactly what happened here.
All of your hardware, plumbing, and interior design solutions are a short drive away at Gilchrist Hewitt Hardware and Design Center in Pella. This kickoff was a low roller, and unfortunately for PC at least, it rolls out of bounds. Pleasantville will take over at their own 35-yard line after the penalty, 1st and 10. Second penalty on the Eagles. We'll call that a 15-yarder.
Camden Parker's been very good with his kicking this year. That one just got a wait a bit. I'm sure he's trying to turn it over there to the right side of the play.
At this point, after 10 years of calling football on the station, Larry, 4 constants in life: death, change, taxes, and Eagles having good kickers. They've had a great string of them, Larry, for many years. And Camden's just the latest in a long line of really successful kickers. Fancher the last couple seasons, DeBryan, who played at Drake for several years. I mean, Gabe Solaire was around when I was here. They know their special teams here on Eagle Lane. Ryder Phil set to pass this one away. First completion for the Trojans, has him plus 9 yards. Reception made by number 4, Trent Jolly. Good opening play there for the Trojans, and really, Larry, good opening series for Pleasantville. They just got stuck behind the sticks there in the red zone and had they're a team that really doesn't like 3rd and 4th and long.
All right, that time they came out throwing with just a quick drop and release.
Officials will spot it at 8. Up to their 43-yard line. Ryder Phil has a 4 wide receiver set. Handoff will go to Caleb Cook. He'll shed 1 tackle. Trying to find the edge, he does. Cuts it upfield, midfield, into Eagles territory before he's escorted out of bounds at the 42-yard line.
We saw his speed right there. Absolutely outran. It looked like Caleb Van Aaron.
Yeah, both. There's a couple guys he outran there,
yeah.
Larry. But it's a gain of 14 yards. Pleasantville has it 1st and 10, back in Eagles territory very quickly. 7-0. We did not expect to be the final score of this game by any stretch of the imagination. Both offenses have had a ton of success, but both defenses, Larry, as we saw last week with Linville Soley and Grundy Center, some work to be done for both. Ryder Phil will hand it off right side, the second-generation quarterback to Caleb Cook. There's some laundry, and this is unlikely good news for Pleasantville. And it is a hold. So offensive holding on Pleasantville, Larry, will send him 10 yards back. That's the first piece of laundry thrown against the orange, black, and white.
And that's kind of what got Pleasantville in trouble on the first series. Got behind schedule a little bit. Down a distance. Pleasantville can.
Clock is stopped with 1:24 remaining. Pella Christian has a 7-0 lead. Trojans have 3 first downs in this first quarter. In case you missed it, presented by the Veterinarian to Tri-County Veterinary Clinic. 5 first downs for Pella Christian so far. back at their own 48-yard line, 1st and 20. This will set him back. Phil the pass. It airmails the intended target, Trent Jolly, incomplete.
That down was an important down, I think, for the Trojans. Now it's down to 2nd and 20. Up a first.
Have a fairly big play here to make it 3rd and a little more manageable, or get the first down here, Coach Jorth. But either way, Pleasantville behind the sticks, back in their own territory, 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. Phil looks to pass again, setting up a screen for Cook, and it's airmailed again. He had blocking in front of him, and maybe illegally downfield in front of him, but he had 2 in front of him, and Cook had some real estate, but the throw was just a little high. That's up 3rd and 20.
Yeah, that was a good play call. Defensive line was eager to get to the quarterback. That was by design from Pleasantville's perspective.
Straver Cellular Instant Radio Update, ADM 7, Norwalk 0. Also on our Marion County Bank Radio scoreboard, Pella Xavier's on the docket tonight. Knoxville's taking on Hoover. Indianola at Carlisle's homecoming for our series of games on our networks. 3rd and 20. PCM at home versus Jessup as well. Phil the pass for the 3rd time on this series. He's under some pressure, and he'll go down. He's sacked in the backfield. Keegan Fatma from his defensive line position will throw him for a loss.
And Keegan's had a big year, too. It's only the 4th game, but he has made some big plays throughout the season, and there's another one.
That's a loss of 7. So a promising start for the Trojans. Has them back at their own 43-yard line, and the first punt of the night. I believe that's Benny Schurz back deep to return with Cooper Sprunk. Pleasantville set to punt this one away. The low line drive kick through the hands of Schurz. Ball is live on the ground, and Benny Schurz loses the football. There is a flag near sideline, but I don't think it's going to matter. A huge mistake by Benny Schurz.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out in terms of the flag. Benny Schurz was deep, and the Pella Christian's coaches told him to move up, move up, move up, but then the punt went over his head, and he was not able to handle it.
It's a mistake, and we don't want to pick on him, but
I did see Pleasantville's number 8 kind of drop his head after he saw the flag, so I'm not sure.
Well, it may just be yardage against them.
It's an illegal block on Pella Christian.
This will actually compound the situation because it's an end of the kick penalty. So Pleasantville's already outside the Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone. It's a 10-yard penalty for Pella Christian from the end of the kick, so where the ball was recovered. This is a big-time turnover in this game, and the Trojans went from giving the Eagles back the football after an 85-yard drive to now having it in prime scoring position. That is a huge error by Pella Christian. And the Trojans are primed to take this over. I think the conversation, though, Larry, is...
It seems like they want to leave the football right there, and...
I think they have to decline it.
Yeah.
Because I think it only would apply if it's a change of possession. So I apologize, I didn't have the rule quite correct. But either way, Larry, at the 22-yard line, Pleasantville takes over after a special teams blunder by PC, 1st and 10. A new quarterback under center, Braylon Bingham. And trickeration here by the Trojans. Straight ahead, it was Owen Rule for 2.
Braylon Bingham has had some snaps this year. He's a freshman quarterback.
Yeah. He's in at quarterback, though, on this series. 2nd and 7. They do just get inside the Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone. Owen Rule, 2 carries, 7 yards for Pleasantville. Down 7-0 to Pella Christian. 5 seconds until the end of the quarter. If they get the snap off, this will be the last play of the quarter. They do. It's a Caleb Cook handoff, right side, and they'll plunge ahead to the 15-yard line. And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Pleasantville threatens inside the Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone. We're live inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth. Pella Christian with a 7-0 lead.
Islam with cabinet design of Pella and Wood Harbor Cabinetry is just as attentive and imaginative as you are when it comes to your remodel. Just ask Justin Plate of Pella.
I've known Mike for a lot of years, and he's just known for high quality and attention to detail, and I'm kind of a perfectionist type person. I really like things done the right way. I've known him to be very high attention to detail and have been really impressed through that whole project.
Hi, I'm Mike Blom, the cabinet guy. Cabinet Design of Pella, where we expand and enhance your ideas beyond your expectations.
This is Dr. Tim Yoder, one of the veterinarians at Tri-County Veterinary Clinic in Pella, reminding you how important it is to make sure your pet receives a regular wellness exam, just like our local athletes recently received their annual physicals before getting back in action. Schedule a wellness exam today by calling Tri-County Veterinary Clinic at 628-4040, where your pet's good health is our #1 concern.
They're the veterinarians.
Yes, we are. We're the veterinarians.
They do take care of pets because they love them.
Go Little Dutch, go Eagles, and go Dutch.
Live inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth after an Eagles turnover. Trojans have it 3rd and 3. Down 7-0 to Pella Christian inside our Pella Real Estate Services broadcast booth. Quarter number 2. This is the 4th third down try of the night for Pleasantville. And Braylon Bingham is the quarterback. Bingham rolls out to his left, looking to throw. Aerials it to the end zone, and that is caught. 6 for the Trojans. Touchdown Pleasantville. Yusef Goli ran a great route in the end zone, and it was a beautiful ball from the freshman to finish that one off.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. That was a beautifully thrown football. Moving to his left from that freshman, Braylon Bingham. That ordinary freshman at 6'2", 165.
See why they want to get him a few snaps as the Trojans are a PAT away from tying this one up. Edwin Escalante, the kicker. The hole that's number 10, Logan Roth. So the Trojans are on the board. Is a pretty considerable crosswind, about 10, 15 miles an hour. Say it until I'm not on this microphone anymore. The wind at Eagle Lane, Larry, adds another 5 or 10 miles an hour usually.
Yeah, some wide open spaces. I don't know if it's a wind tunnel, but not much holding it back if it's certain directions.
So first play of the second quarter, Braylon Bingham with a beautiful throw to the end zone gets the Trojans on the board. Yusef Goli. So with 11:53 remaining, it's tied now at 7. Those now have to respond. That was a costly turnover, especially where the field position was. That's for a defense layer that's given up a lot of points. You give the other team the ball at the 22-yard line, you're not going to prevent them from scoring too often.
That was a short field for Pleasantville, and they cashed in.
Freshman pass. Now the Trojans will try to reset this game after an Eagles turnover. Benny Schurz, Cooper Sprunk have something cooked up after Schurz lost the handle on that punt return, in case you missed it. Presented by Tri-County Veterinary Clinic in Pella.
They're the veterinarians.
High end over end kick is short. Sprunk has it at his 15-yard line looking for some blocking. He has some space near sideline 25-30, and then he'll slide just a little bit past the 30. Larry couldn't quite get his foot in on that new turf for the cutback. If he did, he's probably near midfield, but instead decent field position still for PC, 1st and 10.
Yeah, Pella Christian must have had a return set up over here on the left side, because Cooper wanted to get to this side of the field, and he just about was one good cut back against the grain from going a lot farther.
On our Marion County Bank radio scoreboard, ADM 13, Norwalk 0. Tigers top 5 in Class 4A without Brevin Dahl for the season. Still looking good against the Warriors. Pitch out goes to Benny Schurz, looking for an edge at the 30. Finally past the line of scrimmage before he's knocked out of bounds. That was a long way to run for 4 yards. But it is a positive gain on 1st and 10 for PC.
Benny able to make at least one man miss to turn something that looked marginal into a gain.
31 yards on 5 carries for Benny Schurz. Also on our Marion County Bank radio scoreboard, games just about to get underway. Knoxville versus Hoover on KNIA. Pella versus Xavier on 92.1 KBLS as Caleb Van Arendonk throws it near sideline. This bread and butter play has been working so far. Sprunk is just shy of the first down near the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that was a bread and butter play back in game 1 at Des Moines Christian, and eventually I think teams will make adjustments perhaps at halftime, but right now that play is working for Pella Christian.
This is the third down try for Pella Christian. Also, PCM is hosting Jessup Indianola's at Carlisle, so a lot of games in action and about to kick off here at 7:30. 7-7 ball game here. Straight ahead handoff. Cooper Sprunk is going to need to get carried out of here tonight. He's touched the ball on about half of the play so far. That's his 5th carry, and he gets an Eagles first down with 3 more yards.
A good cut right up into the hole by Cooper. Just needed to get a couple yards. He knew that, and he went and got him.
Eagles have had 16 plays from scrimmage. Sprunk has had his hands on 8 of those, whether receiving or rushing the football. He's in the backfield with Van Arendonk, 1st and 10, tied at 7 with Pleasantville or the Eagles. Here sideline Camden Parker, the kicker by trade, is also a lanky wide receiver, and he'll get a chunk of 6 yards.
Yeah, I don't know what Camden's reads are. I haven't talked to the offensive coordinator. That's probably Coach Cack for the most part at Pella Christian, but Camden doesn't even go to the huddle. He just lines up wide and does his thing, and once in a while, Caleb will pitch the ball to him.
He's a target, 6'5", and nice soft hands there on that little hitch route. 2nd and 4, after a 6-yard gain. Pella Christian up to their own 48-yard line, empty backfield for Van Arendonk. Jet sweep goes to Benny Schurz. He cuts it upfield into Trojans territory and uses his 6'4" frame to get close to an Eagles first down. Needed a full 4 yards. Spot on the far sideline seems to be just shy of the marker. Oh, they'll give it to him, 1st and 10.
Yeah, it looked like Mr. Courtney, the big tackle for Pleasantville, had penetrated into the backfield, but Benny made a good cut inside to avoid the loss and turn it.
7th first down for the Eagles so far. 9:47 and counting, opening quarter. 7-7 Pleasantville and Pella Christian tied. Play action on the double fake there, the reverse. Van Arendonk has some space up to the 40. He's got quick feet. He'll shed one tackle at the 30, burst of speed on the sideline to the 20, and he's deep in Trojans territory before he's finally dragged down. What an open field run by Caleb Van Arendonk, and that's good for an Eagles first down.
Boy, a quarterback that's two-dimensional, you've got something. Caleb did a nice job of seeing that there was nobody open. He saw some space. He cut it up inside, and I got to say that Caleb Van Arendonk has done a fantastic job at quarterback, considering that this is the first time he's ever played the position. Coach Cack did a little recruiting to get him out for football. Saw some potential in Caleb as an athlete.
That's a 32-yard gain to the 17-yard line of Pleasantville. 1st and 10 inside the Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone. Van Arendonk rolls out to his left. He's under some pressure, and this time he'll get dragged down from behind. Great contain and a double team there. Number 3, Carter Bingham came in. It was the initial pressure by Juan Avidia who got him thrown for a big loss of 8.
Yeah, it's a big loss, and maybe in an ideal world, Caleb would have been able to just chuck that out of bounds over the receiver's head, but really didn't have a lot of time. So now Pella Christian's behind.
Eagles defense did that to Pleasantville a few times, and now turnabout fair play. A great play by the Trojans defense. Sets the Eagles really with a loss of 8 yards. And Van Arendonk and company have some work to do. Still in Pleasantville territory. Tied at 7 are the Trojans and the Eagles. Van Arendonk rolls it right side, setting up a screen for Schurz, but well defended by the Trojans again. There's Avidia with the initial contact. There was one blocker in front of Benny, but there were 3 Trojans waiting for him, and that's no gain.
Yeah, I was thinking some kind of screen play in my head, and that's exactly what happened, but Pleasantville was thinking the same thing.
So 3rd and a mile here for Pella Christian. They're at the Trojans' 26-yard line. They've got to get to the 8-yard line for a first down.
Pella Christian really just needs to try to get about half of this and then let Camden Parker.
And this will trigger a Pella Motors timeout where you'll drive away happy. That's the Pella Motors guarantee. Andrew Schnatter and Larry Hessing, the Hall of Famer, joining you here. Tied at 7, 8:08 to go here in the quarter. And like we said, our 7:30 kickoffs are starting here tonight with full slate of action for our larger schools, Pella, Indianola, Norwalk. One more non-district game for PCM and Pella Christian. They're in the midst of their district season already. And for Pella Christian and Pleasantville area, obviously Sigourney Keota, it's kind of a 3-horse race coming in. Sigourney Keota lost to PCM, so there's that head-to-head. I think that'll be a close game with PC when the time comes. But yeah, Pleasantville, if they can start this season with beating a team they haven't beaten in forever, actually ever, then the Trojans all of a sudden maybe come out of this thing as a favorite. So a lot of stakes here for an opening district game. And Coach Cack told me in the pregame interview, last 2 years, the district champion's been undefeated.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's big district implications.
3rd and 18 for Van Arendonk and company. Pella Christian, a lot of work to do at the Pleasantville 26-yard line. Tied at 7 are the Trojans and Eagles. A double reverse. Schurz has an edge at the 20. Bursts of speed at the 15. Sheds a couple tackles. He's going to make it close. Gain of 14 yards, and now a good decision here for the Eagles. Do they take the 3 or do they go for it here on 4th and 14? I don't think it's a decision they would have made as Schurz is 10 yards further back, Larry, but looks like the offense staying on the field.
Yep. Part of that might be a function of the defense for Pella Christian having difficulty keeping people off the scoreboard.
So Van Arendonk has a pistol formation with Sprunk behind him, 4th and 4 at the 11-yard line. Schurz is in motion. They'll fake it to him. Cooper Sprunk catches it, and he's wrapped up beautifully in the open field, and he's going to be short. What a nice play made by the freshman, Braylon Bingham, threw a touchdown pass on the other side, and he will deny the Eagles a first down, just a yard gain on the play. That time, the Trojans defense knew where that was going.
Yep, that's about the 4th time Pella Christian's run that play, and Mr. Bingham is pretty smart, I think. He saw that coming, and he met Cooper just as the ball arrived.
That is the 2nd time a team in this game has gone for it on 4th down in the red zone. In case you missed it, presented by Tri-County Veterinary Clinic, and failed on 4th down. Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone. So Pleasantville has it at their own 9-yard line. A lot of work to do here for the Trojans. 1st and 10. Bingham stays in at quarterback. Handoff will go to Cook, and he'll get a couple. Past the 10 to the 11. Looks like right now Coach Jorth is going to ride the hot hand. Yep. And we don't know, and we don't want to speculate if there's any injuries, but Ryder Phil is coming off the field. He was not under center on that last play. So right now Bingham looks like he's got the offense to work with. Pleasantville at their own 11-yard line. We're tied at 7 between Pella Christian and Pleasantville, Class 1A District 6 football on KNIA, KRLS, and the Pella Christian YouTube. Shotgun formation for Bingham. He'll hand it off right side to Cook, and he's met near the line of scrimmage. Benny Schurz and Cooper Sprunk met for the tackle, and a loss on the, or not a loss, but prevented a big gain on the play.
Cooper Sprunk, the leading tackler for Pella Christian from that safety position. Not afraid to stick his nose in there against the run game.
Hopefully Mom's got the ice bath ready after the game. He has been a busy man so far. 3rd and 7, Pleasantville. This is their 5th 3rd down try. They're deep in their own territory. Eagles defense would love a 3 and out and have decent starting position after getting it into the Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone. And now we'll see Mac Jorth take a Pella Motors timeout where you'll drive away happy. That's the Pella Motors guarantee. With 6:06 remaining in the 2nd quarter, we'll keep her right here. Well, it's been a busy start to a lot of things this season. It was Pella Christian Volleyball Week earlier this week. Activities are in full swing. So, Larry, the new school year is now officially in now that we're close to a month into it.
Yes, indeed. I think it's 3.5 weeks I probably have classes. So, back into the swing of things. Yep, when we get busy with cross-country meets and
a lot of
volleyball meets and
Eagles
football games on Friday nights.
Yeah, the Eagles swept the Linville Sully meet last night. So congratulations to Coach Buchheit's bunch. You hear the band here. I'm interviewing the theater group on Monday. So Mary Poppins will be a great show coming up.
Yep, they're busy rehearsing already, I'm sure.
Big 3rd and 7 as Braylon Bingham, the freshman, has it at his own 11-yard line. He'll look to pass, plenty of time to throw, flush to his left, still on his feet, and he's in some trouble, throws it away. That's a really smart play for a freshman. And Larry, he switched hands to throw it away as number 2, Caden Croyd, was giving him all sorts of business near the goal line, and he prevents a sack, and at least Larry gives his punter some room here to kick this one away.
Yeah, he was going to get his right arm wrapped up by Caden Croyd, who, by the way, is playing a very active game out here in a reserve role right there behind Isaiah Breams. But yes, Bingham switches to the left hand and flips it out of bounds to avoid the loss.
Yeah, there's not a lot of seniors who can make that play, let alone a freshman. And Bingham is also, it looks like, the punter of choice here for Coach Jorth. And that one is a low wobbler. And Benny Schurz, I think, thought 2 or 3 times about touching that football had it even been a normal kick. So good field position here for Pella Christian out the 47-yard line. So a 35-yard punt, no return. Decent considering what it looked like off the foot there.
Yep. Benny perhaps could have been aggressive and run up and got that football and saved about 10 yards, but after muffing the previous punt, that's probably a good decision. Get your offense out there on Pleasantville's side of the field and see what.
Some Strawver Cellular instant radio updates. Knoxville 7, Hoover 0. That's in the first quarter. PCM 7, Jessup 0 in the first quarter. Van Arendonk and company are quickly onto the field, rushing on 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. Handoff goes to Sprunk. He has some space. He's already up to the 40 before he's finally tackled by a couple of Trojans. Trent Jolly was in on that one. And to get 8 yards, Cooper went 7 before he was touched.
Yeah, good blocking there by Egan Fatma and probably Mr. Veenstra.
Offensive lineman out there doing good work for Pella Christian. 2nd and 2 for Van Arendonk. And off Sprunk again, has some space again. It was the same play, opposite direction, just off guard, and the Pella Christian offensive line opening some things up. Connor Van Zee was the lead blocker on that one, and he had some help around him. Give him 7 more. 9th, Eagles first down. We're tied at 7 all, 5:13 remaining. Second quarter. Trojans will receive the opening half kickoff. Schurz in motions. 3rd straight carry for Sprunk, and he's spryly down another 7 yards before he's bottled up by that second level for the Trojans.
Yeah, Cooper's getting some good yards after contact. He's bouncing around a little bit, but that's all on his own with the help of these offensive.
O-line working well here tonight. And in motion is Sprunk. This time it's a pitch out, and he had some surrounding danger. He was able to turn it into something as Elias Keegan had the initial, 88 Braden Kennedy had the initial contact for a loss of a yard. Trojans have had a couple nice stops in the backfield.
Got Braden Kennedy, another freshman.
Pleasantville football, Cook is a senior. He's kind of the star player this year, but I don't think this is going to be the only year they're a little bit better. I think Coach Jorth has some players coming up the pipeline. Sprunk has been busy. He has another Eagles first down on a handoff left side, 3rd down conversion, and he's at the 21-yard line. So another chunk of 7. Usually a good stat, Larry, when your running back is about 6 or 7 yards a carry. That's hard to stop for any team.
Yeah, that's impossible to stop, really.
1st and 10, Pella Christian has it at the 21-yard line of Pleasantville, center of the field, working right to left in the second quarter. Tied at 7 with the Trojans. Van Arendonk, Sprunk again. Wonder if his leg's getting a little more tired, a gain of 4. Trojans also maybe keying in on him a little bit more as Carter Bingham and Carter Metcalf combined for a stop of 4 more yards. Sprunk's up to 10 carries, 50 yards so far. This drive started at the 47-yard line of Pleasantville. Eagles now inside the Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone, tied at 7. Play action on the jet sweep fake. Van Arendonk trying to shift his way forward, got a couple. Get into the 15-yard line that time. A good job in that zone coverage, Larry, of Pleasantville kind of keeping an eye on him and making sure he can't get too far away.
Now that was the little pass play that was supposed to go to Sprunk again, but Sprunk was well covered. Pleasantville defender standing right next to him, so Caleb just had to tuck it and see what he could get.
3rd and 4. This is the 6th third down try for the Eagles. They're at the Pleasantville 15-yard line. Empty backfield. Man in motion is Nunnikov, and they'll pitch it out to him. He's looking for an edge. He has a block. He's inside to the 10-yard line. He'll be right near that first down marker. Cooper Sprunk had a really nice seal block there, Larry, on the edge. It kept the linebackers from getting to Nunnikov before it was too late.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that little pitch again to be what is needed to get Pella Christian outside the Pleasantville defense.
So 1st and goal right at the 10-yard line near hash. Caleb Van Arendonk and company looking to get the lead back here from Pleasantville. Tied at 7, late second quarter. Handoff goes to Sprunk. Good cutback, and he's into the end zone. 6 for the Eagles. Touchdown, Pella Christian. Cooper Sprunk is on the board, and he's having a big night.
Boy, he really knifed to that defense. He ran with some authority there. I was looking towards Benny Sherman outside, but Bennett had the ball. Excuse me, not Bennett. Cooper had the ball.
You did it,
and he
not
was
me.
sniffing the end zone.
You did it, not me. That's all right. You dealt with Bennett a little bit more. Here's at least a nice surprising opening salvo from the green and white. give Pella the lead over Xavier early, 7-0, the Dutch over the defending 4A champions. And the Strauver Cellular Instant Radio Update, Camden Parker. PAT try has plenty of leg, and it is good. With 2:28 remaining in our first half, Pella Christian back on top inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth.
Thinking about a job at Vermeer? Our training team wants to set you up for success. Brian trains our new paint team members.
A lot of the people will come in not sure what they want to do, and I've had that availability to do multiple assessments. That same individual could try for paint, could try for a machine shop, could try for a weld position, and lets them make the decision, which one could I see myself in the most.
Start the search for your career at Vermeer by visiting VermeerJobs.com.
It's a swipe and save weekend this Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. Swipe your Fuel Saver Plus Perks rewards card and earn a 25-cent Fuel Saver savings for every $50 you spend. Plus, swipe and save great deals throughout the store like whole seedless watermelon for $3.99, 80% ground beef for $2.99, and Bush's baked beans for $1.99. Limits and restrictions do apply, and you have to swipe your Fuel Saver Plus Perks rewards card to get the savings this Friday through Sunday at your Pella, Oskaloosa, and Knoxville Hy-Vee.
Live inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth, Camden Parker set to tee this one up at his own 40-yard line. Pella Christian takes a touchdown lead, so Larry, the Eagles overcome the defensive turnover, the turnover on downs in the red zone, get a good defensive stop, and then a 47-yard drive, and that was really some domination from the Eagles O-line and Cooper Sprunk.
Yeah, a very good offensive drive, of course, behind Cooper and the offensive line. But big defensive stop for Pella Christian to get that ball turned back over.
Eagles trying to wrestle control of this game back here a little bit. This is returnable here for Caleb Cook at his own 7-yard line. He's dangerous with his hands on the football, but good job by the Pella Christian special teams. Number 11, Brecken Ritzert. Long line of great Ritzert athletes. Of course, older brother Peyton is with the Dutch across town playing football after a state wrestling career and state track and field career. And Brecken has shown flashes of his own great athletic success. And he's been a nice defensive player and special teams player for Coach Cack this season.
And for me, this is just my perspective. I think Pella Christian's special teams have perhaps more of their quote-unquote starting athletes than they used to, and it shows.
Pleasantville has it at their own 20-yard line. 1st and 10. Braylon Bingham's back in at quarterback again. He'll roll out to his left on a play-action fake. Throws, hits his man, but off the hands of Logan Roth, incomplete. Had him in stride, Larry, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, impressive throw again, rolling to his left and throwing that ball with his right hand and really putting it right on the hands of his receiver.
2nd and 10. Pleasantville is at their own 20-yard line. That'll stop the clock with 2:17 remaining. Each team has 2 Pella Motors timeouts remaining. See how it all shakes out here.
Yeah, I don't think Pleasantville can just run the football. They're not going to have enough time on the clock to do that, so they're going to have to put the ball in the air.
Risk, of course, Pella Christian getting the ball back with a chance as well. Bingham will roll out to his left again, has a man open. This time it's complete near the first down. Impressive moves in the open field for Yusuf Goli. He caught that touchdown pass earlier. That time, Larry, the Eagles' zone defense didn't help, but there is a flag on the play back near the line of scrimmage. This one may be coming back, either ineligible man downfield perhaps, or offensive holding, and it is an illegal man downfield for Pleasantville, so that'll negate the positive gain and make it 2nd and 15. That's where those rollout plays, Larry, are so difficult because those line, if they get anywhere downhill 2 or 3 yards, they're all of a sudden causing a problem like this. And that rollout play, Bingham had all that time, but the offensive line isn't aware of where he's at, right? And so they get downfield.
I would think that the offensive line knows that it's a pass play, and so they don't need to get downfield unless they really know that he's going to put the ball under his arm and run. But error by Pleasantville is going to help out Pella Christian.
Official's flag is still on the field. Play clock has not started up again. Coach Jorth was, I think, looking for an explanation. He's not happy. There are arms up on the Pleasantville coaching staff. Now there's a discussion. At this point, the ball lost the spot. Oh, they are going to wave off the flag, and now the Pella Christian coaching staff is probably going to have something to say about this.
I'm guessing the Pleasantville coaching staff pleaded with the officials and tried to explain that the man that was downfield was eligible to be downfield. Exactly.
That's a 14-yard gain. You don't see that penalty called off very often, especially after a plea from a coaching staff. But okay.
Yeah.
So 15 more yards here for Pleasantville.
Well, the official was willing to admit that he erred and tried to make it right.
So the clock is stopped with 2:09 remaining. How can you argue it if you're Pella Christian? We have instant replay up here, but they don't down there. So 1st and 10 at the Pleasantville 35-yard line. I think the Trojans get a big break here. Roll out for Bingham, the freshman. He's under some duress. Heaves it downfield, has a man open. That pass is caught at the 20-yard line. What a throw on the run by Braylon Bingham to find Yusuf Goli deep in Eagles territory.
Well, Yusuf is obviously Mr. Bingham's favorite target. And
it's a 45-yard
he got
gain.
Twisted around a little bit that time, did Yusuf, but he made a very nice catch and adjustment.
That throw was on the run for a freshman. That ball was in the air, Larry, 35 yards in the air. That's a 45-yard gain. Make it 47. All receptions have been made by Goli so far, the junior. Handoff goes to Caleb Cook. We haven't said his name as much as we thought we would. He's broken through 2 or 3 Eagles tackles, and his jersey gets stretched all the way out by number 56 from the Eagles, John Booner. If Booner doesn't get that hand on him, Caleb might be dancing in the end zone. He just was hard to take down.
Yeah, but John was not going to let go of the tail end of that jersey.
Careful the laundry tonight or tomorrow. But Braylon Bingham and this Pleasantville offense are in the Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone, 2nd and 8, down 14-7, near side pass. That is complete. Number 4, Trent Jolly. Jolly makes his second catch, first from Bingham. He completed one earlier from Phil. That's 5 more. It sets up 3rd down. Pleasantville is 3 of 5 on 3rd down tries, or 2 of 5 on 3rd down tries in this game. Andrew Schneider, Larry Hessing, 47 seconds remaining until the half. Trojans have engineered a drive for a potential score. They're taking time off the clock with 40 seconds remaining at the Pella Christian 11-yard line. We will get a Pella Motors timeout from Coach Mac Jorth of the Trojans.
Wanted to say that Pleasantville has plenty of time. They have 2 timeouts left, but they let a lot of time go off of that clock and had to burn a timeout because something wasn't quite right in the offensive set.
A couple of Straw Sell, the other instant radio updates. No score, Indianola Carlisle. That game's going to scoot by. That's 2 of the most prolific 4A rushing teams. Knoxville 9, Hoover 0. We have our first safety of the night in favor of the Panthers. Our Central Tire and Auto Radio halftime show coming up. We'll go inside the numbers delivered by Pella Fiber. Take a look at our second half adjustments presented by DeYoung Door Service and get you set for what should be a fun second half. Pleasantville has the ball at the Pella Christian 11-yard line, 3rd and 4. And if the Trojans are able to score here, Larry, we'll have a tie game, and the Eagles won't have a lot of time to try and get a lead before Pleasantville receives that opening half kickoff.
Yeah, it could be kind of consecutive possessions here for Pleasantville.
Tonight's video presentation on the Pella Christian YouTube channel is presented by KNIA KRLS Radio, our continuing partnership on Eagle Lane. So a big 3rd down for the freshman who's taken over at quarterback, Braylon Bingham. 78 yards passing on 5 tries so far. Pleasantville has 2 downs to get 4 yards. They're only 11 yards away from Pater. Bingham has plenty of time. Rush out to his right, inside the 10. Jukes packs a couple of tacklers and lunges ahead to the 2. Good scramble there by Bingham on his first carry of the night. Gets a 1st down on a 3rd down conversion. It sets up 1st and goal with 24 seconds and counting remaining.
Nice vision and decision making there by Bingham.
Trojans got to get themselves moving here with only 18 seconds remaining on the clock. I formation, Caleb Cook is in the backfield. Handoff goes to Cook right side. He'll navigate his way in. 6 for the Trojans. Touchdown Pleasantville as Caleb Cook's on the board after a short gain and a long drive in the 2-minute drill.
And an excellent block out there by, looked like Juan Avita. Sophomore, 6'1", 250-pounder. 76 out there at the right tackle position.
What a job Braylon Bingham has done as a freshman, making some huge plays out there at quarterback. His teammates are picking him up, both Yusuf Goli and Caleb Cook and others in that offensive line, and they were a PAT away, tie game. And we are there. So 7 seconds remaining. We'll keep it right here. 14 all. As the Trojans, Larry, drive the length of the field, keyed by a 48-yard pass from Braylon Bingham to Yusuf Goli to tie this game. And that's a huge one. As we said, there's not much Pella Christian can do short of a kickoff return for a score here. So advantage Pleasantville going into the half.
Yeah, the story of the first half for me is this Braylon Bingham. Counterpart, Ryder Thill has had a really good season, but Braylon Bingham, the freshman, looks the part. Talk about the future of Pleasantville football. Got a quarterback who is obviously the most important player on your team of his ability, and he's got 3 more years in front of him. Looking up for.
And he does not look anything like a freshman. I mean, I've been around high school athletics. This is my 10th year covering them, and I have not seen a young man 6'2", 165. He looks like a junior out there. He looks like he's got a little moxie to him. And man, oh man, just imagine, wait till his body catches up, Larry, what he's going to be able to do. Low squib kick here for Pella Christian. Sprunk has it at the 10-yard line, trying to spring a big one here. He sheds a couple tackles. He'll spin off another, and he's dragged down at the 22-yard line, and that takes us to halftime. You're listening to Pella Christian versus Pleasantville football, powered by Bank Iowa on KNIA Cable S and the Pella Christian YouTube. We've got a great one brewing here between the Trojans and Eagles, tied at 14.
For all your hardware and plumbing needs, look no further than Gilchrist Jewett Hardware and Design Center. They have everything from nuts, bolts, and screws to plumbing supplies, and as always, they carry lumber and building supplies. And if you need help with your flooring, kitchen, or bathroom remodel, their design specialists are here to help with the space planning, layout, and material selection. Don't waste any more time running from store to store. Come to Gilchrist Jewett Hardware and Design Center and get everything you need in one convenient location.
Hearthstone and Pella is adding to their nursing team, and if you're looking to get into the healthcare field, becoming a certified nurse's assistant is a great first step. Hearthstone offers 4 CNA classes every year, and they'll even pay for it. Once you become a CNA, they'll pay for you to get your certified medication aid, and they offer tuition reimbursement of up to $3,000 per year for you to attend nursing school. They want you to join the team, and they're willing to invest in you. To learn more about this immediate opportunity, call Ann at Hearthstone and Pella at 620-4162.
At Dutch Mill Supply, pole barns are their specialty. Customers from Grimes, Runnels, Indianola, Winterset, and right here in Marion County trust them with their unique pole barns. Office spaces, horse arenas, garages, shops, and machine sheds, Dutch Mill Supply has designed and supplied high-quality metal pole buildings that stand the test of time.
Dutch Mill Supply, located in Pella, is your only locally owned, one-stop, full-service lumberyard and building material supplier. My name is Joshua Payne. My staff and I are here daily for professional service from the guy next door.
Randall Roofing is proud to sponsor the Raise the Roof moment of the game and support our local teams.
It is received by Benny Schurz. He'll return it. He's got a hole. He's at the 35, 40, 50. One man to beat. Schurz will beat him. 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. Benny Schurz opens the 2023 season with a kickoff return for a touchdown.
When it's time for a new roof, think Randall Roofing. Find us on Facebook or visit randallroofs.com. Thinking new roof? Think Randall Roofing.
This is Dr. Tim Yoder, one of the veterinarians at Tri-County Veterinary Clinic in Pella, reminding you how important it is to make sure your pet receives a regular wellness exam, just like our local athletes recently received their annual physicals before getting back in action. Schedule a wellness exam today by calling Tri-County Veterinary Clinic at 628-4040, where your pet's good health is our #1 concern.
They're the veterinarians.
Yes, we are. We're the veterinarians.
They do take care of pets because they love them.
Go Little Dutch, go Eagles, and go Dutch.
Attention Knoxville, Iowa. Are you ready to take your career to the next level? Hormel Foods is looking for a dynamic, experienced individual to join their team as a team lead manager. Visit Hormel.job today to learn more about this exciting team lead manager position. You'll find a detailed description of the role and the fantastic benefits that await you. Take the next step towards a rewarding career with Hormel Foods.
Hi, this is Mike at Langstrad Auto Body. It's deer season again, and I know from experience that whether you're in your car or in the timber, there's one out there with your name on it. They always say if a deer jumps out in front of you, aim right at it. The good and bad of that is that some of you will be visiting your local meat locker, and the rest will be visiting us at Langstrad Auto Body. Whether it's a deer or some unfortunate accident, you know that Langstrad Auto Body is there for you with a lifetime written warranty and satisfaction 100% guaranteed. Langstrad Auto Body, where you don't have to look for a quality repair.
Whether it's navigating the uncharted waters of being a first-time business owner, expanding your business to meet growing demand, or investing in ways to propel your business to new heights, Bank Iowa can help you and your business take the next step, no matter how large or small it may be. So anything you can imagine, let's make it happen. Bank Iowa, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And we welcome you to the Central Tire and Auto Radio halftime show for tires, front end work. There are no appointment oil change and full mechanical work on your vehicle. Stop and see Shonda Ward and his crew next to Walmart in Pella. Schneider with the Hall of Famer Larry Hessing as we are live inside our broadcast booth here at Eagle Lane, where we've got a good one brewing. Pella Christian and Pleasantville tied at 14. Let's go ahead first and take a look at our first half stats and go inside the numbers delivered by Pella Fiber. Pella Christian and Pleasantville. Right now the Eagles have 199 yards on 32 total plays. Pleasantville with 145 on 27. 90 of those are through the air for the Trojans, 45 for Pella Christian, 154 on the ground for the Eagles, 55 for Pleasantville. Braylon Bingham has come in at quarterback. He's 4 of 6 for 82 yards. Caleb Van Arendonk is a perfect 6 for 6, but only has 45 yards to show for it. Cooper Sprunk, 11 carries, 58 yards, including a touchdown. Benny Schurz, 8 carries, 50 yards. Caleb Van Arendonk, 4 carries, 36 yards. Noah Nunakoven has 10 yards on 3 carries. Caleb Cook, 10 carries, 39 yards. Braylon Bingham, 1 and 9. Owen Rule, 2 for 7. The one key stat in this game, 13-18 is possession time for Pella Christian at 10:42, but the key is the fumble lost on the punt return by Pella Christian that gave the Trojans a short field, a 3-play, 22-yard drive, tie the game. Pella Christian had a 10-play, 85-yard drive to take the lead, and then a 9-play, 47-yard drive in the second quarter. Pleasantville went down the field 80 yards, 7 plays in just 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Tie the game at 14. Inside the Numbers is delivered by Pella Fiber, where every home gets a gig. Join the movement today at PellaFiber.com. We're at the 8 o'clock hour. We're tied at 14, and Larry, obviously a very good back-and-forth football game. The score could be higher. Both teams had a turnover on downs inside of the red zone. So to see that kind of play out how it has, obviously here for both teams, they have to probably feel pretty good that it's a tie game, and right now you feel a little better if you're the Trojans getting that score before that.
Yeah, they really did a good job of driving down. Of course, the big play was the long pass play, and Pleasantville scored, tied it up, and they get the ball coming out here in the second half. So they're in a good spot right now. I think not that their senior quarterback was doing poorly, but I'm just really impressed with this freshman quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here in the second half. But, man, if I'm their coach, I'm sticking with this freshman and finding probably another good skill position for Thill.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not Bingham's first series. He's had a couple of snaps this year, so it's not like he's completely strange to the position, but he has clearly been the man so far for the Trojans. Let's run down our Marion County Bank Radio scoreboard. After one quarter, it's Knoxville 15, Hoover 0. Pella 10, Xavier 0. That's after one quarter. Still a long way to go for Coach McKinstry and company to pull off the upset of the year so far in Class 4A football. Now Knoxville 22, Hoover 0, by the way. PCM 22, Jessup 0. So a lot of the old boat race sounder coming up later tonight. And it's Carlisle 7, Indianola nothing. At last check-in, it was ADM leading Norwalk 13-0 in the first half. That's your Marion County Bank Radio scoreboard, where they're serving you and building community across the Red Rock area with their locations in Pella, Knoxville, and Melcher Dallas. They're the area's financial leader. Obviously, may have just seen it on the Pella Christian YouTube channel. They're honoring the seniors in cross country, and always emotional to see Ryan Nadelborg out there. Obviously, his running career was tragically cut short in a swimming accident over a year ago. But thankfully, that young man still has many years, hopefully, of his life left. And quite the fighter and was the story of cross country a year ago, Larry, in pushing that team, the program, to their first ever dual state appearance between boys and girls. And his presence on the course is sorely missed. His leadership has been invaluable and obviously part of a great senior class, boys and girls. Jacqueline Holmes, I've known her since she was a fifth grader running in the Lake Red Rock Balloon Fest many years. So a great cross country crop here for Coach Bukite, led by Ryan Nadelborg.
Yeah, Coach Bukite has done a tremendous job of gaining numbers and just making the cross-country program Christian strong. And, of course, that takes some good. Also takes. Got that. Ryan's in my class in school. I mentioned that back in the classroom just a little bit. What a great kid. Every morning he's got a smile on his face and he says good morning, and really just an inspiration, to be honest.
Yeah, again, that was one of the more heartbreaking stories I've had to cover. But he, within a month, Larry, was on the radio with me on an interview, and that the courage he showed just to share his story. He said no questions were off limits. I can't imagine what his career could have been. Obviously, we'll never know. We only get one chance at this life, Larry, and he's going to make the most of it regardless. It's just, again, a great story, one we wish we never had to tell, but glad that he's with us still above ground, obviously, and still here to share his story.
Shared with me that looking forward to visit, and he's excited. Seems like he some good place that siblings that have gone to Liberty University is leaning towards, and it's really up.
Part of a great group of seniors, like you said, on a program that Coach Bukite's really built up. I, of course, being more Mr. Pella now, will put a plug that Coach Bukite learned from a great program that's got the number 1 and number 2 teams in Class 3A that are going to be running at Central College tomorrow. But Bukite's done his great job, soccer and in cross country, and another great group of seniors. We'll take a commercial timeout and have more of our Central Tire and Auto Radio halftime show coming up after this.
Know you have choices when it comes to wireless plans for your home or business. At Strawberry Cellular, we strive to be that local expert to provide all the service and expertise you need to make U.S. Cellular your choice for wireless service. Our knowledgeable staff can provide you with everything from smartphones and tablets to home internet and security options. Choose Strawberry Cellular, your locally owned authorized agent for U.S. Cellular in downtown Pella.
CPAs are known for doing things by the numbers, but the accountants at Van Manen, Seastra, Meyer & Nickel go beyond the numbers. They are committed to their clients to bring the best advice at competitive prices to ensure that you get the best service to meet your needs. They'll stand behind you in case you would ever need help, unlike most of the do-it-yourself tax services, with year-round advice for any life changes that may happen. And if you're unhappy with your current service, they are accepting new clients with a smooth and seamless transition.
Save time and gain peace of mind with Van Manen, Seastra, Meyer & Nickel.
At Pella Motors, we won't be beat on price, period. So if you're looking for a great deal on a brand new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram, and saving big money makes you happy, Pella Motors will not be beat on price, period.
The battery-powered lawn equipment you've always wanted is here. Toro's Flex Force line of walk mowers and lawn tools are easy to use, fast, quiet, and just as powerful as gas-powered. No hassles, no cords, and virtually no maintenance. Check out Toro's line of Flex Force lawn mowers and lawn tools at DeRuyter Lawn Equipment in Pella.
At BSN Sports, we work with high schools, colleges, and universities all around the country. This is Phil Hemming, and I'd like to say a special thank you to Pella and Pella Christian for their partnership. Both schools earn rewards on every purchase they make for uniforms, apparel, equipment, and every fan gear website we set up. A big thanks to our local schools, and thank you for your support of BSN web stores for your favorite local teams.
It's a reunion, and you're invited to Pella Cinemas. Bring your friends to My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, rated PG-13, for a hilarious and heartwarming trip full of love, twists, and turns. New this week is the tense and moving true story Golda, rated PG-13, a gripping historical drama of Gold Mir, Prime Minister of Israel during the Yom Kippur War, and hailed over by demand is Equalizer 3, rated R, starring Denzel Washington. For a list of showtimes, visit Pella-Cinemas.com and enjoy a movie at Pella Cinemas.
At Pella Real Estate Services, we do more than help people buy and sell homes. For some, renting is the better option. Hi, this is Levi Spain, and we have more than 300 rental units under our umbrella, now including High Point Apartments. All of our properties are owned by local investors who care about our community, so we make sure they're kept clean and well maintained by a team of local experienced handymen. If renting is the right choice for you, see our current openings at PellaRentals.com or call 628-1BUY for Pella Real Estate Services.
Hi, this is Russ with Bruxford's Home Center, here to let you know about a great offer we have available right now on a new Sherwood mattress. Get a queen for just $4.99. Sherwood is a trusted Tempur-Sealy private label partner, and every mattress they make is held to the same high-quality standards that make all Sherwood products one of the best values on the market. Stop in today and pick up your new Sherwood mattress. A queen is just $4.99 at Bruxford's Home Center in Pella.
This is Kim at the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Oskaloosa, inviting you to come stay with us. We're a brand new facility that boasts state-of-the-art amenities coupled with the local charm of Oskaloosa. Our pool and fitness center is open to our guests, and free breakfast will start your day off right. Call and book with us today, or use our Marriott Bonvoy app. We look forward to seeing you.
Randall Roofing is proud to sponsor the Raise the Roof moment of the game and support our local teams.
It is received by Benny Schurz. He'll return it. He's got a hole. He's at the 35, 40, 50. One man to beat. Schurz will beat him. 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. Benny Schurz opens the 2023 season with a kickoff return for a touchdown.
When it's time for a new roof, think Randall Roofing. Find us on Facebook or visit randallroofs.com. Thinking new roof? Think Randall Roofing.
Pella Engraving and Sign Company has a way to help your business or organization stand out: vehicle graphics. Vehicle graphics are designed with bright, vibrant colors to make you stand out from all the other cars, trucks, vans, and trailers on the road due to its unique and creative designs based on your company's logo. Everywhere you go, everywhere you park, your business is on display. For more information on how Pella Engraving and Sign Company can help you grow your business, visit PellaEngraving.com or call 628-2791.
And we're back inside our Central Tire and Auto Radio halftime show. Andrew Schneider and Larry Hessing tied at 14 as the teams are set to take the field in a tie ball game. Let's take a look at our second half adjustments presented by the Gurus of Garage Doors at the Young Door Service. And Larry, critical drive, first of all, coming out of the half. Pella Christian's defense has got to find a way to slow down Braylon Bingham, a freshman who has really done a great job of just moving the football around, throwing the football, scrambling. Caleb Cook only has 10 carries for 40 yards, and he's a bell cow back who has 600 yards coming into the game. And right now, Pleasantville's winning without him. The Eagles got to find a way to slow down this young freshman who's having a stellar game so far.
The Eagles have done a good job against the rush game of Cook, especially, of course, for Pleasantville, but try to figure out a way to get some pressure, I think, on Bingham at quarterback, if he is a quarterback. They've rolled Bingham out to the left. They've rolled Bingham out to the right. On that last drive, Bingham had a good scramble going right up the middle where he had just dropped back. It'd be kind of difficult, I think, for Pella Christian to get pressure on, but I think that is kind of going to be a key to try to slow him down in the passing game.
Well, and for Pella Christian, regardless of what happens, they obviously have to score one more time to win this game. They've had good series. The first drive, they went 3 and out, and since then, Larry moved the ball effectively. Both teams were stopped in the red zone going in to score. Those have to match it. They have to match that intensity and energy. If Pleasantville goes down and scores and makes it 21 to 14, the Eagles have to come right back down and match it, because if they do not either get the stop here or do not answer the opening score, Eagles are in some trouble.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have written down. PC offense has to match it, and that means that they're going to have to be error-free. They get behind the sticks a little bit, off schedule, as I've mentioned a couple times here in the first half. Makes it challenging, so have to be error-free.
Yeah, and really what the other thing to watch here, too, I think is partially a little bit of exhaustion where Caleb Cook, kid who's used to 25 carries a game, Larry, he's got all his legs. If Pleasantville can get the lead, they know that they're going to rely on him. Eagles have kind of thrown the kitchen sink at things on offensively so far. Not that I doubt Cooper's conditioning, but he's had the ball in his hands on half the possessions offensively. He's made probably half the tackles defensively. Got to have some concern there for PC2, some tired legs. They've got to find a way to keep this game close here early in the third quarter, or Pleasantville could run away with it.
You mentioned Benny Schurz earlier, too, about getting some rest or some ice after the game. You know, he plays on special team, and he plays the defensive backfield at safety position, and he's a running back. So not much rest for him either. So we'll see how Pella Christian does their offense, whether they're going to feature Cooper, which I actually they will, and Benny. Those will be the two main guys, and then Caleb can.
Well, and we talked about this a little bit, but, you know, when you lose 17 starters and they were mostly seniors, you lost a ton of depth. And a lot of these kids sure played last year and had some form of role on the team, but that is going to be a concern for Pella Christian going forward. This is probably the least amount of varsity depth that Coach Cack has started a season with. He'll build it throughout the year, and you'll see some guys, I'm sure, step up. I'm not doubting that for a second, but with apparently tonight Johnson Morgan unavailable is the only thing I can think of. They're missing one of those three guys in the key ingredients in that backfield. So that's another thing to watch here tonight as well. Those are your second half adjustments presented by the Gurus of Garage Doors at DeYoung Door Service. Stop and see their new showroom at 908 Roosevelt Road, just west of Pella Christian High School. We're tied at 14-all. This wraps up our Central Tire and Auto Radio halftime show. For tires, front end work, there are no appointment oil change and full mechanical work on your vehicle. Stop and see Shonda Ward and his crew next to Walmart in Pella. Tonight's video presentation on the Pella Christian YouTube channel is presented by KNIA KRLS Radio. Andrew Schneider alongside Larry Hessing, the Basketball Hall of Famer, as we get you set for our second half opening kick presented by Dutch Mill Supply, as Camden Parker will tee it up at the 40-yard line. Pleasantville and Braylon Bingham, the freshman quarterback. Again, we talk like this is some sort of big revelation, but he obviously has played a little bit this year. But certainly right now to open district play, it looks like he could be the man going forward for the Trojans. So we'll see what happens here. Pella Christian's had some big stops defensively. Do they have a big one off here to start this second half?
Yeah, and just to piggyback there on those Bingham comments, coming into the game, Braylon Bingham was 7 for 11, 64% complete percentage, and about a 22-yard per catch. So he does have a little experience here coming into.
So Pella Christian and Pleasantville tied at 14. Pleasantville has not beaten the Eagles in the varsity-bound quick stats era. 10-0 Pella Christian's been in this rivalry since 2008. So the Trojans are looking to knock Eagles off, who, by the way, won a combined 109-7 the last time these two teams played each other in the district the last 2 years. So the Trojans are on the rise and looking for a huge win to kick off the district season. Eagles looking to recover from a first-half turnover. High end-over-end kick from Parker is caught in the end zone for a touchback. So Braylon Bingham and company will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. This is a pivotal drive in what we look like over the next hour of football here between the two quarters, and these pretty run-heavy attacks. The clock could be bleeding quickly. This is, in my mind, right now, the series of the game.
Yeah, right now it is. Like a brand new ball game, of course, with the score tied, and who can prevail? Offense or PC? I think that's where I started before that, at the top of the game.
Yeah. Fresh 12 minutes. Ball is at their own 20-yard line. Bingham's in a shotgun formation with Caleb Cook in a 3-receiver set, 1st and 10. They'll move a fullback into the backfield. That's Owen Rule. He's more of an up back in this position. 4 down defensive linemen for the Eagles. And some collision in the backfield. Cook got the handoff. It was his blocker, a fake jet sweep coming across the formation. I think it was goalie. And they collided, Larry, in the backfield, and Cook ended up having to stumble his way to try to get back to the line of scrimmage. That was near disaster for Pleasantville and a loss of 1.
Yeah, Cook did his best to minimize the damage.
That was almost, and you worry about the fumble there, especially with a guy that the running back didn't see coming across the formation. Instead, it's only a loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Pleasantville is now behind the sticks, as they say. Need a big play here on 2nd down to set something up. Bingham's in a shotgun formation this time, a traditional 4 wide receiver set. Bingham, plenty of time, has all day to throw. Pass is incomplete. So Pella Christian drops 7 into coverage, Larry, in zone. Ryder Thill now playing a wide receiver, had his hands on it. 6th pass attempt for Bingham, 78 yards, in case you missed it, presented by Tri-County Veterinary Clinic in Pella. And a huge third down, the 7th try. Trojans are 3 of 6 so far tonight.
They're the veterinarians.
3rd and 11, ball at their own 19-yard line. Clock is stopped at 10:39. On the near hash, 3 receivers, right side of the formation for the freshman Bingham with a tight end to the left. Bingham will roll to the right, has plenty of time, and now he's under some duress, and Cooper Sprunk will get him in the backfield for a sack. Cooper Sprunk has been the player of the night for the Eagles, and he'll throw Bingham down all the way back to the 9-yard line.
There's the pressure on Bingham. I don't think Cooper was blitzing or anything, but he was in a contained mode. But once he saw Bingham rolling to the right, Cooper committed to rushing right at him and tackled him for the big loss.
Cooper Sprunk gets a huge sack, and now Benny Schurz trying to return a kick. Eagles bring the heat on the punt. It's a low line drive. This time Schurz sure-handed at the 42-yard line looking for an edge. Tries to beat a couple tacklers, and he gets no gain on the return. Good coverage by the Trojans. But Pella Christian with a critical third down stop, Larry. Tied at 14, 10:05 remaining third quarter. A short field for Caleb Van Arendonk and company to take the lead back. Trojans have not led in this game.
There you go. You coined the drive previous to this as the drive of the game, and now this is the second half of that opening salvo here in the second half. Can Pella Christian answer with this short field? Not answer, but score.
And Arendonk and Cooper Sprunk with the 2 touchdowns for the Eagles. Handoff goes to Benny Schurz, and a good surge on the right side of the offensive line with Schurz, and he's about a half-yard shy of a first down. Give him 9 on 1st and 10.
Unlike Pleasantville's first play from scrimmage in the second half, which was a -1, Schurz goes for a +9. Huge difference.
2nd and 1 from the Pleasantville 33-yard line, tied at 14. Pistol formation. Schurz gets it on the end around, up to the 30, near sideline 20, has some blocking in front of him, and he'll lunge ahead to the 15-yard line. Benny Schurz gets 18 more and an Eagles first down.
Well, to begin the half, looks like the Eagles are going to Schurz.
Inside the Raceway Tire and Exhaust Red Zone near hash mark, working left to right for our radio and stream audience tonight on KNIA, Schurz gets it for a 3rd try. He's got some blocking in front of him. A good lead on the pullout from Josiah Vink, but a good job by Pleasantville recovering a gain of 3. Schurz was a step away from pay dirt there, but the linebacking core for the Trojans just got enough of him. To the Pleasantville 12, 2nd and 7. Van Arendonk in a pistol formation. Takes it to Schurz, rolls out to his left, into the end zone, had 2 men wide open. Caden Croy just wasn't looking for the football. It was going right for him. He never put his hands up. If he sticks his hands into the air, Larry, it's 6 for the Eagles. Instead, incomplete.
Yeah, Caleb was rolling and just didn't quite get his feet set properly and threw the ball behind Caleb.
So Pella Christian now.
Excuse me.
Yep, Pella Christian's got 2 downs to get 7 yards here at the Trojans' 12-yard line, although a field goal is possible. All depends on what happens here on 3rd and 7. And Arendonk in a pistol formation. Hands it off to Sprunk. He's up the middle, inside the 5, dragging tacklers with him into the end zone. 6 for the Eagles, touchdown Pella Christian. It's the night of Cooper Sprunk, his 2nd score of the night.
Well, the start of the second half couldn't have gone any better for Pella Christian. The stop on the first series for Pleasantville, and then march it right down into the end zone on the ground with a short field.
This is a developing situation across town. Pella 17, Xavier 0 going into the half, 3:32 remaining second quarter. A Straw Vercellier instant radio update. So the Pella-based team's doing well. Camden Parker's PAT gives the Eagles a 21-14 lead, 8:52 remaining here in the third quarter. We're live inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth.
At Knoxville Hospital and Clinics, we're invested in your health. Hi, I'm Dr. Jared Riekfeld, a family medicine physician at Knoxville Hospital and Clinics, and I'm accepting new patients. Keeping you and your family healthy is important to me. I enjoy caring for patients from birth to geriatrics, and really enjoy getting to know my patients. Trust me with one of the most important things in your life, your family's health. To schedule your appointment with me at the Knoxville Hospital and Clinic, call 641-842-7211.
If you have friends or family coming to Pella, make reservations for them to stay in Pella's finest accommodations, the Amsterdam Hotel.
We have many different packages available depending on what they are looking for during their visit.
Our weekend getaway package includes flowers, chocolates, and champagne.
The Visit Pella package has tickets to the Historical Village, Vermeer Windmill, and Pella bucks to spend around town.
And the Stay and Play package includes golf at Boss Landon.
Find the perfect package for your guests or yourself by visiting royalamsterdam.com for the Amsterdam Hotel on the Bollengracht in Pella.
Live inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth, Camden Parker has it teed up at his own 40-yard line. A short drive, just 6 plays, 42 yards, and Larry Pella Christian's back on top. And now the momentum clearly with the maroon and gold. Question is, can they hang on? Still a lot of game yet to be played. This is a high hopping kick returned by Logan Roth at his own 10-yard line on a hop, and he's swarmed by the Eagles special teams again. They've been very good tonight. There's a late flag also on the far sideline near the 35-yard line, I should say far hash mark. I imagine will set Pleasantville back. There's not a whole lot of flags, Larry, that can be thrown.
Looks like an illegal block of some kind.
This will take it from the 25 back to the 15-yard line. Yeah, the ball was back there. Why is the ball all the way up at the...
Not sure why the ball is lying at the 35.
There we go. They're walking it off from the 25. That's a costly penalty. Pleasantville will have to go the length of the field. They've done it a couple times tonight, but Pella Christian can get the stop here, Larry. It makes it really difficult for the Trojans. That's their second penalty for 20 yards accepted.
Yeah, I feel like this is just like the beginning of the second half. Only Pella Christian has been given a +7 on the scoreboard.
So with 8:48 remaining in our third quarter, handoff goes to Caleb Cook. Trevor Veenstra got the initial contact and never let him go. Got some help from Croyd, but no gain on the play for Caleb Cook. So it's clear that Coach Boonder wanted to see number 5 not succeed. It's now, I think, the game for Pleasantville. There's still a lot of time left. It's going to rest on the shoulders of right now freshman Braylon Bingham.
Yeah, Pella Christian has taken away the running dimension.
2nd and 10 from their own 15-yard line. Trojans down 21-14 to Pella Christian. 8:15 and moving here in the quarter. Bingham rolls out to his left. Looking, has a man. Yusuf made the leap for it. Gully did. Incomplete, a little bit overthrown, and it's another Trojans third down. They're 3 of 7 in this scenario tonight. And back-to-back incompletions for Bingham.
And again, as soon as Bingham started rolling to his left, one of the Eagle defenders, this time Garrett Wheelard, just took off in a straight line. That seems to be Pella Christian's defensive design to try to get some pressure on Bingham.
That was an adjustment because they weren't getting to him in that first half, and he had plenty of time to throw. 3rd and 10, Pleasantville. This is a big drive for Coach Mack and company. Coach Jorth wants to knock off the Eagles for the first time in his tenure. And this will be a Pella Motors timeout. That's a costly one. 8:07 remaining here in the third quarter on our Marion County Bank Radio scoreboard. We told you about it. It is an upset special going on over on Pella High School's field. The Dutch up 17-0. An absolute stunner of a half for the Dutch against the defending champions from Xavier, who beat Pella by 6 scores last year. So, and you know that Xavier has a lot of seniors every year, magically, Larry. That tends to be how it works for Coach Schulte. KNIA 27, Norwalk nothing at the half. PCM 29, Jessup 7, 5:45 to go in the half. At last check, it was Knoxville leading 22-0. That would be, not hyperbole, in my 10 years, the biggest upset I have seen for a team I cover. That's highly unusual to see a Xavier team ranked second in the state. But big play here, Larry. Let's get back to over here in Eagle Lane, 3rd and 10. Bingham to pass. Has all sorts of time going for it all. There was contact, and that was maybe a touchdown saving tackle made by Benny Schurz before the throw, and that'll be a first down Pleasantville.
Yeah, I'd have to see a replay, which maybe I should try to look at. Sure if Benny just intentionally grabbed the receiver, Youssef, or whether it kind of collided, but after the receiver popped up with his arms outstretched, the official threw his laundry.
Yeah, there was definitely there was a ball that dropped at the 45-yard line and no one within 10 yards. And as you looked at the ball in the air, number 14, Youssef Goli, was on the ground with Benny Schurz on him, whether intentional or not. It was, I thought, fairly obvious pass interference. It's a 15-yard penalty and a big conversion here. Now Caleb Cook on the right side looking and looking, and he has nothing again. Tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Number 56, John Boonder with a stop. Another loss for Cook. But it was a 3rd down conversion, so the Eagles defense will need to come up with another stop.
Boonder slowed a little bit by injury earlier in the year, but really seems to be coming on.
From their own 30-yard line, it is for a 2nd and 10. Pleasantville down 21-14, 7:34 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Braylon Bingham, the freshman, has 3 receivers near side of the formation. Handoff goes to Cook. Power football right side, but again, not a whole lot there. The Eagles defensive front has done a really nice job of bottling up Caleb Cook, who has 42 yards on 14 carries. Sets up Larry another critical 3rd down. Trojans are 4 of 8 so far in this scenario. Eagles defense wants to get off the field. Obviously, the penalty extending this series.
Interesting substitution here right down in front of us. Camden Parker in at the right cornerback, in place of Noah Nunnikoven. A little more height there.
Especially in a jump ball scenario. Trips left of the formation for Bingham, 3rd and 6 at his own 34-yard line. Bingham rolls out that way, has some pressure, flushed out. Sprunk was there initially, and Trevor Veenstra will finish the job for the sack. Trevor Veenstra gets the 3rd Pella Christian sack, and that'll force a punt.
Yeah, you know, when Bingham rolls to his left in that situation, the offensive line is also moving, and they're not as airtight against that defense for Pella Christian. Pella Christian made a great adjustment at halftime. They're just sprinting right towards that quarterback when they...
And that was Cooper Sprunk who set that up. He had to contain, and then Bingham had nowhere to go, and then Veenstra, the athlete he is, came and swarmed him. Another punt scenario here for Pleasantville on 4th and 11. Sidewinder. For the Peter call coming out here. Get away, get away, get away. Takes a Pleasantville hop to the 41-yard line. With 5:57 remaining in the 3rd, Pella Christian has a chance to take command of this game. 21-14, 59 yards away from a 2-score game. Andrew Schneider and the Hall of Famer Larry Hessing coming to you on what will be my only Eagles call of the fall. As many people know, expecting a 2nd Schneider on the way, so I'm going to have to take some time off. And Larry, appreciate you coming on up. Hey, we picked a pretty good one to come back for if it's one night only for the 2 of us.
Well, when I saw your text, I looked to see who Pella Christian was playing. I looked at the weather forecast, and they both looked like winners, so there you go.
Yeah,
maybe it wasn't quite like that, but we'll say it was.
The golfer in you knows too much about that. Handoff goes right side here for Pella Christian on 1st down. Cooper Sprunk has a whole lot of space in Trojans territory. One man to beat at the 30, shifts that tackle at the 20, and he is gone! 6 for the Eagles, touchdown Pella Christian. Cooper Sprunk from 59 yards. Our Randall Roofing raise the roof moment of the game. When the moment arises and it's time for a new roof, think Randall Roofing and think Cooper Sprunk as the Eagles explode on one play.
The center, Trey Van Manen, is pumped. He must have thrown a key block, but he is really pumped about that touchdown run. Maybe just happy for his offensive line.
This game has flipped on its head, and Cooper Sprunk may be meeting with Tyler Crabb next week as our player of the week. He has had a phenomenal game, and Pleasantville has had no answers for number 7 on either side of the football. The point after try is good. It is all Eagles in the 3rd quarter. As we're inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth, 5:44 remaining. 2-score lead for the home team.
At Marion County Bank, we go beyond banking. Isn't that right, Dylan?
Yeah, put me in, Coach.
Well, that's not quite the idea, but I like your spirit. Our local teams are going beyond the classroom as they prepare for a new season. And while we won't be putting on the pads or memorizing new songs, we go beyond banking to serve you and share in the life of the community. Check out How We Go Beyond Banking on Facebook, Instagram, or at MarionCountyBank.com.
Marion County Bank, serving you, building community. Member FDIC.
It's a Swipe and Save weekend this Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. Swipe your Fuel Saver Plus Perks rewards card and earn a 25-cent Fuel Saver savings for every $50 you spend. Plus, swipe and save great deals throughout the store like whole seedless watermelon for $3.99, 80% ground beef for $2.99, and Bush's baked beans for $1.99. Limits and restrictions do apply, and you have to swipe your Fuel Saver Plus Perks rewards card to get the savings this Friday through Sunday at your Pella, Oskaloosa, and Knoxville Hy-Vee.
A massive haymaker for the maroon and gold as Cooper Sprunk scores for the third time tonight on his third consecutive carry, 141 yards for the junior star, as Cooper Sprunk has led the Eagles to a 2-score lead over Pleasantville in the blink of about 5 minutes of game time. The Trojans have a hole to dig themselves out of in what was a close game. And in case you missed it, presented by Tri-County Veterinary Clinic, Larry, the Trojans started the half with the football. The Eagles defense got a stop despite a penalty. Quick drive down the field, and then boom, get the ball back at their own 41-yard line after another stop. In the blink of an eye, they're up by 2 scores.
Yeah, obviously Eagle offense, 2 scores, but Pella Christian defense, how about that? They're limiting right now Cook in the run game, and they are putting pressure on the passer.
Braylon Bingham is back in at quarterback again. He has 80 yards to try and make up some damage here. Caleb Cook, you mentioned, is just not having a night. This Pella Christian defense knows where number 5 is at, and he'll maybe get a yard as a swarming defensive front for the Eagles that's been much maligned, Larry, and is missing Isaiah Breams. Played really well tonight.
Yeah, I was just going there, at the top of the broadcast. I mentioned how the leading tacklers for the Pella Christian defense are at the second and third level, but right now, those front 7, as we call them, are dominating.
2nd and 9, Trojans in a shotgun formation again for Bingham, trying to get something going here on offense. Fake the handoff to Cook, and Trevor Veenstra will get Bingham all the way back down to the 10-yard line. The second sack of the night for the senior.
Well, I tell you, I couldn't see that, but Trevor really must have shucked that blocker because he made a straight line.
Yeah, he
made a straight line towards the quarterback.
He took the poor Trojans right guard with him a good 2 yards before he shed the block. Sets up 3rd and 20 after a loss of 10. Not sure what Coach Cack and Coach Boonder said at halftime, but the Eagles are fueled out of the Central Tire and Auto Radio halftime show. Pleasantville at their own 10-yard line. Bingham needs a big play. He's got some time to make it. Now flush to his left. Good coverage downfield, and he'll just have to throw it away. He was a step away from Croyd having him in the end zone. However, there is a flag at the 20-yard line. Now, it won't be an automatic first down, Larry, but I think Pleasantville gets to replay the down.
Yeah, I'm not
depending on the nature of the penalty.
Not an expert on these penalties, but if pass interference or defensive holding.
Legal contact on the defense.
Some levels, that's an automatic first down. I'm not sure if it is.
I don't think it is, but it is going to cut this yardage in half. At the 10-yard line. Legal contact is the call. 10-yard penalty, but it is still 3rd down Pleasantville. Third down. Pleasantville will get another shot, now 3rd and 10. This is the 10th third down try for the Trojans tonight. They're 4 of 9. All go routes here as Bingham's in some trouble again. Flushed out to his right, and he'll have to throw it away again. This time, no yellow laundry on the field, and it's another Eagles 3rd down stop. Their 3rd consecutive 3rd down stop made. Now the Trojans are in real trouble. So if Pella Christian goes and scores, this one's just about over.
Yep. This drive, if Pella Christian successfully fields this punt, et cetera, this drive is going to be the game. If Pella Christian scores, I don't see Pleasantville able to come.
Kick goes to Cooper Sprunk, who has 3 touchdowns on offense tonight He'll get knocked around like a pinball near the 46-yard line, and that's where Pella Christian will take over. Another short field for Caleb Van Arendonk and the Eagles offense, who have been humming on all cylinders here, 1st and 10.
2 of the Eagles' drives, of the 3 drives here in this half, starting in plus territory.
The other one was at their own 41, and they hit a home run.
Yeah.
Drew Schneider and Larry Hessing coming to you from Eagle Lane with 4:13 remaining. Third quarter, Pella Christian's defense has been locked down on the Trojans, and the offense has a 2-score lead, 28-14 on 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Schurz. He's got an edge at the 45, stiff arm to break 1 tackle. Jukes past another. He's down the sideline, and he is gone. 6 for the Eagles. Touchdown, Pella Christian. 47 yards for Benny Schurz, and the Eagles are pouring it on.
Wow. That was a superior left arm. He put the arm right on the would-be tackler's helmet, pushed him away, and then cut back 1 time, and he was gone. Great run by Benny Schurz.
Pella Christian offense is unstoppable, and this went from a potential District 6 classic to a disaster here across the way from Pleasantville, as Pella Christian has scored 3 times in the quarter on 8 plays, and the last 2 have turned into pay dirt. With 4:01 remaining in the third quarter, it is all Eagles. 35-14 inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth. Benny Schurz showing off this time.
Is now the right time to buy your home? At Community First Credit Union, we say yes. That's because right now, we're giving you up to $2,000 off closing costs when you get your mortgage with us. A savings like that can really make a difference for you. So get in the home you want before this limited time offer ends. Call and ask about our great rates or visit us online at c1stcu.com/home. Some restrictions apply. Loans are subject to credit approval. Equal housing opportunity, federally insured by the NCUA.
Inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth, this game has gotten a little out of hand for Pleasantville. The only good news for the Trojans is they've got a lot of time left. I mean, Pella Christian scored quickly on all 3 series, but you don't want to be down 3 scores on the road either, especially with an Eagles defense, Larry, that has made life difficult for the freshman quarterback and senior running back here in the second half.
Yeah, right now, Pella Christian defense is on fire. I mean, they're stopping the running game from Pleasantville, and they've got the freshman quarterback kind of wrapped up now, too, with the pressures that they're creating.
High end over end kick from Camden Parker is returnable for the Trojans at the 12-yard line. Can Caleb Cook turn the game on its head here? Get some good field position, at least to the 30, make it 31-yard line. But this, Larry, went from, again, in case you missed it, presented by Tri-County Veterinary Clinic, from a 14-all Pleasantville with the football after 2 really good offensive drives, including a great 2-minute drill right before the half to make it a tie game, to Pleasantville is in danger now and flirting with mercy rule. The way things are going, Pella Christian clearly can't be stopped on offense, and the Trojans in the half so far, I think, maybe have 10 actual yards of offense. They had a couple penalties that have helped them, and they haven't been able to take advantage. So we're back under center in the I formation, and Ryder Thill is back in the game at quarterback for Cook, and he'll get 6 yards. That's his best carry since the first half.
Yeah, that time, as you mentioned, Thill back up under center, more of a traditional look perhaps. Just comes back and gives Cook the handoff, and that time Cook makes something positive.
They had some success in that I formation, but I think they were struggling to throw the football with Thill. So I feel like Coach Jorth, again, this is just our speculation, kind of switched it up to try and get the aerial game going, and it worked. Some big plays in the first half. Now Pleasantville going to go back to some bread and butter here in old school Trojans football. It's Coach Dank's I formation. Haunted a lot of teams in Class 1A football over the years. As Cook trying to find some space, and he does. He'll get an edge and turn it upfield before going out of bounds at the 43-yard line. 8 yards for Cook. And the first down via offense and non-penalty here for the Trojans in the second half. Game's not over, but the Trojans have to do something here on this drive and get something to stop the Eagles on the other half.
They're off to a good start with 2 very good running plays there.
That's the only advantage that Pleasantville has from those quick scores from Pella Christian, is they've been able to preserve a lot of the game clock. Still have about 15 minutes of time to work with here. Cook cuts it upfield. This time Cooper Sprunk is just a man possessed tonight. Cooper Sprunk, this will be a night he'll remember for quite some time, and we have a Trojan down and an official's timeout. Pella Motors timeout. We'll take it with them inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth. Eagles up 35-14. Trojans trying to move here, but we do have an injury.
Have you been ignoring your pain or masking it with pain relievers? What if I told you there's a better way? Hi, this is Ashley from Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy. Not only will we help you get to the root of your pain, we will also help you through it with proven movement techniques and exercises that work for you. If you're ready for one-on-one specialized care to get you back to living a pain-free life, call Kinetic Edge today or visit kineticedgept.com.
Hi, this is Chuck Vanderwall with Ulrich Ford Lincoln in Pella. When Rudy Ulrich hired me in the summer of 1967, I could only dream of what this dealership would mean to our family.
I'm Todd Vanderwall, and I joined Ulrich in the fall of 1997. It's been an amazing 25-plus years working with my dad and our team, and now I get to pass it on.
I'm Tegan, the third-generation Vanderwall at Ulrich's. Like my grandpa and dad before me, I'm proud to be able to say that at Ulrich Ford Lincoln in Pella,
we're taking care of you.
Pella Corporation values teamwork. That's why they proudly salute adults who coach and mentor area youngsters. By helping others, they're building character and building their leadership skills in the process. And they're helping area youth experience the importance of teamwork. So whether you're coaching kids on a team, chaperoning them on a trip, or encouraging them to pursue their musical, artistic, or athletic talents, we thank those who share their talents with area young people. The Pella Windows and Doors team thanks you for your role in helping area youth build lifelong skills, interests, and values.
Juan Avidia, excuse me for saying that wrong, Avatia, I should say, is not able to put any weight on his leg. He's been a nice player for Pleasantville. Wish him the best, of course, here tonight. He limps off the field. It is 2nd and 11. Pleasantville has it at their own 42-yard line. We bring you back to 3 minutes left here in the third quarter. Pella Christian with a 3-score lead, 35-14, as the Trojans trying to desperately get themselves back into a game that was tied at the half just 9 short minutes ago. Ryder Phil will hand it off left side. Caleb Cook had some separation initially, did a good job staying on his feet and got to the secondary and gets a chunk of 7 yards. Makes it third and more manageable. Cook has 63 hard-earned yards, Larry, on 19 carries.
Yeah, that carry, he did a really good job of making something after contact.
3rd and 4. This is the 11th third down try for Pleasantville. They're 4 of 10. One of those coming on a penalty here in the third quarter. 2:19 and counting inside our Pella Real Estate Services broadcast booth on the other side of a Pella Motors injury timeout. It's 3rd and 4 Trojans for Ryder Phil. The lefty fires, and it's tipped by Croyd. Nice play there from his end position. Kind of sunk back, didn't take the pressure that Pella Christian was putting on Bingham. He's probably coming in, but that time he stayed back, and all 6'9" of him, Larry, was able to reject that like you will on the basketball court this winter.
Now I'm going to date myself, but he did his best imitation of Ed Too Tall Jones.
That's all right.
Some people listening are going to know who I'm talking about.
Say that again in 10 years, Larry. I'm not sure, but yes, I think enough people know. 4th and 4. This is a critical opportunity. A second 4th down try for the Trojans at their own 49-yard line. Phil was trying to get the Eagles to go off sides. Good discipline here, and there's no time left on the play clock. Delay a game. I think the Trojans, maybe, Larry, were just hoping to try and get them off sides, but now you give the Eagles offense, throw the ball back.
Yeah. Well, they were out just about to midfield, so a little bit iffy to go for it or not. I know you're down 3 scores, so perhaps you have to, but I think that was by design to see if they could get Pella Christian to jump offside. And well, if they don't, we'll punt.
Pella Christian nearly had 12 men on the field that would have made them make the decision again, but instead they don't. High snap. Best punt maybe of the night so far. Sprunk returns it, then he drops it, and he thankfully gets back on it. There has been some poor decisions made by Eagles punt returners, and that nearly turned into disaster for the Eagles, but instead Sprunk able to get it at his 25. He just needed to put the arm up there, Larry. And
yeah, he was not very deep because I think he was guarding against perhaps a potential fake punt, but once you back up and try to make the catch, it makes it more challenging.
But the Eagles will have it at their own 25-yard line, up 35-14, 1:56 to go here, third quarter.
Well, they've had some big chunk plays here that have resulted in touchdowns. Let's see what happens here.
And Aaron Donk is by himself in the backfield. Man in motion is Schurz. This is a pass play, caught far sideline. Here a first down. I believe that's Parker, and it is with his second catch. Give him a chunk of 11 and then Eagles first down. 17th of the night. Up to the 35-yard line. First and 10 after a 10-yard gain for Van Arendonk and company. Double reverse to Nunakoven, cuts it up the middle of the field to the 40, up to the 42. At this point, Pella Christian would love another big play, no doubt, but they'll take 6 yards a chunk and bleed the rest of this third quarter clock out if they can.
Good blocking there by the line and really good footwork there by Noah Nunakoven to find his way to a 7-yard gain.
Up to his own 42-yard line. It's 2nd and 3. This time a bunch formation for Van Arendonk. Handoff goes to Cooper Sprunk. Very patient run as he navigates a little bit of traffic and finds his way past the first down sticks. Give him 5 more. Cooper Sprunk, 146 yards on 14 carries. Eagles move the sticks, and right now Pleasantville, this is why I know it's easy to second guess a coach, but this is why Pleasantville, I think, needed to go for it. They just had no answers for this Eagles offense, and they're just going to watch the clock bleed here. Handoff goes to Schurz. He has an edge at midfield, burst of speed at the 45, and another Eagles first down. That's why for Pleasantville, the best offense is your offense on the field. That's another chunk of 11. It is quickly turning into a rout here. 2 Eagles approaching 150 yards on the ground. They're now up to 20 first downs this game.
And I would not characterize the Eagle offensive line as physical other than Trevor Veenstra, but right now, bearing down Pleasantville.
Handoff goes to Sprunk. He'll lunge ahead to the 35. Give him 6 more. 35 seconds remaining in the quarter. It's 35-14 Eagles, and Pella Christian is punishing this Pleasantville team as Sprunk is over 150 yards on the ground.
Eagles should just let this clock wind. Excuse me, third quarter.
They have no patience in them here as Van Arendonk has a quarterback keeper. He'll shed 1 tackle, get the first down. He'll drive his way inside the 30 near sideline before he's dragged down to the 26-yard line. 10 more yards for the Eagles as Van Arendonk on his third carry for 49 yards.
You can tell by the body language, I think, on Pleasantville. They're walking slowly, hands on hips. They're a worn-out unit right now.
Well, we'll find out what the fate of this drive is in the fourth quarter. A perfect third quarter for the Eagles gives them a 3-score lead, and they're about to go in for the dagger here inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth.
On the car goes beep, 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 beep. The horn on the car goes beep, beep, beep. That's Central Tire and Auto.
You probably don't need your horn fixed, but if you do, Central Tire and Auto can help with your horn and almost any other issue you have. For tires, front-end work, there are no appointment oil change, and full mechanical work on your vehicle. Stop and see Sean DeWard and his crew next to Walmart in Pella. Everybody now.
A reminder that our Cabinet Design of Pella radio postgame show will have both Pleasantville head coach Mac Jorth and Pella Christian head coach Rich Kakmarinsky break down what has turned into a lopsided affair. Pella Christian with a 35-14 lead at Cabinet Design of Pella, where they expand and enhance your ideas beyond your expectations. Andrew Schneider, Larry Hessing, the Hall of Famer, joining us here. And again, a time warp, if you will, for the broadcast team. We were together, of course, for 5+ years in the broadcast booth, and seeing, while it's not the aerial assault that you and I saw for those many, many years, we're seeing a very old school classic Pella Christian team that really has great offense. Coach Kakmarinsky, if there's one thing he's been good at in his life as a player and a coach, it's offensive football. And this Eagles team is really just taking it to Pleasantville here in the second.
And, you know, there's nothing super fancy about the offense. It's not the aerial show that you just alluded to, but Pella Christian really doesn't run that many different plays. But Coach Kack is going to drill and drill and drill until they execute them perfectly.
And Arendonk to pass on first down, far sideline, caught by Croyd, and he's going to lunge ahead and close to a first down. 9-yard gain as Van Arendonk has quietly put together. We say no aerial assault, but he's 9 of 10 for 65 yards. He's been extremely effective.
Yeah, he's efficient.
2nd and 2 at the Pleasantville Raceway Tire and Exhaust red zone at the 18-yard line. Donk and company. Man in motion is Nunakoven, and he stumbles in the backfield, and he'll lunge ahead right back to the line of scrimmage. Just lost his footing a little bit. Pleasantville got a little more penetration on that one, and it sets up 3rd and short. This is the first 3rd down attempt of the half for Pella Christian.
Wow.
Just to go out.
I'm sure this is 4-down territory regardless. Yeah. But look for Pella Christian to pick it up right here.
3rd and 2. Van Arendonk has 2 receivers far side of the formation. Pitch it out to Schurz. Has to shimmy his way. Makes one tackler miss. He cuts it upfield inside the 10, and he's near the end zone. I think got knocked out of bounds, and he did at the 2. He was a momentum ping pong away from pay dirt. He'll get 16 yards. He needed 2, and he had to fight hard for those first 2.
I'm not sure who for Pleasantville put on that big hit, but that was a big hit. Benny's no small lad. A good run by Benny Schurz.
1st and goal, though, from the Pleasantville 2. 10:47 remaining. Eagles have a 3-score lead over Pleasantville, 35-14. Van Arendonk has Cooper Sprunk right behind him. Handoff goes to Cooper, and he will plow his way in. 6 for the Eagles, touchdown Pella Christian. 4 scores for Benny Schurz, and there's your dagger. The Eagles with a fantastic second half, and it has been the night of Cooper Sprunk, touchdown of the game.
Yeah, it has been all Eagles, and that's an understatement here in the second half.
Game ball goes to number 7 tonight.
Student body starts chanting, "We love Cooper."
See why. Camden Parker for the PAT. It's up. And it's good. What was a game at the half has turned into a blowout. It is all Eagles 42-14 inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth.
The 90 and 100-degree temps are behind us. Winter doesn't seem so far away, does it? Before the really cold weather sets in, now's the time to schedule your pre-winter checkup with DeYoung Door Service to make sure your garage door will hold up. They'll check the hinges, rollers, cables, and gears so that your garage door goes up and down when you need it this winter.
Hi, this is Kurt DeYoung. It's not good enough to know what you do. You need to specialize in it. We specialize in sales, installation, and service of garage doors. We're the gurus of garage doors. DeYoung Door Service in Pella.
A beautiful brick walk featuring a winding canal, working drawbridge, and a classic old-world atmosphere. The Pella community features wonderful Dutch architecture all around town. And there's one place in downtown Pella that takes you right into the heart of Amsterdam. Welcome to the Molengraat, home of Pella's finest lodging at the Amsterdam Hotel, dining at Liberty Street Kitchen and Oriental Express, beautiful U Salon, Pella Nail Salon, Pella Window and Door Showroom, and many service businesses. And even taking a movie at Pella Cinemas. Good luck with our local sports teams from the Molengraat in Pella.
Live inside our Pella Real Estate Services radio broadcast booth. It is a 4-score game with 10:43 remaining in the 4th. High kick. Returnable for Caleb Cook at the 10-yard line. Gets ahead of steam at the 25, looking for some space at the 30. Has some blockers near sideline 40. Biggest play of the night for Caleb Cook. No laundry on the field. Give Pleasantville their best starting field position since that turnover, Larry, in the first half. There is a Trojan down and cramping. As you're listening to Pella Christian versus Pleasantville football, powered by Bank Iowa on KNIA via the KRLS2 stream and the Pella Christian YouTube channel. Thanks to the team of students here at Pella Christian and the work that they do to get the video stream up. And I say it often, we have probably the 2 best video streams. I'm biased, but 2 of the best productions in the entire state are about a mile apart here between Pella Dutch Live and Pella Christian YouTube. So
I will say for one that I really appreciate both of them watching those.
To Frank here and Andy Johnson over at Pella High School, where they've got a good one brewing as Ryder Thill play action fake under some duress, and finds his fullback, but not for much. Number 7, Owen Rule, make the catch for 2 yards.
7, Cooper Spronk makes the tackle.
In the Cooper Sprunk show, that's just the second completion of the night for Ryder Phil. He's 2 of 6 for 11 yards passing. Clock is running with 10-11 remaining, 42-14 Eagles. Mentioned the classic on our Marion County Bank radio scoreboard. Pella has Xavier at the half, 17-7. Saints were able to get one just before halftime, but Dutch have a 10-point lead, looking to put on the upset of the season in Iowa high school football so far. That pass is tipped and it's intercepted. Brecken Ritzer had that one off the tip and made a great concentration catch on the far sideline right at midfield, and Brecken Ritzer will get the turnover.
Wow, that was great reaction. I don't know what football does for a tip drill, but it looked like a tip drill, and from here it looked like Brecken maybe got 1 foot in bounds, but
all you need in high school is that 1 foot tip drill, incomplete. The night just keeps getting worse here for Pleasantville, and we are now in the definite threat of continuous clock if the Eagles can go down the field here and score. And it looks like we're getting a second line here of substitutions. Yeah. I see Caleb Volk, Landon Franzman, and a few others. So Brecken Ritzert's going to take some snaps here for Coach Kakmarinsky as they take a Pella Motors timeout. And
I saw the wave of second stringers coming, and I saw that we were going to need a timeout to get everything organized.
Well, and in years past, I think Coach Kack leaves the starters on the field for one more play. But when you don't have as much depth as you've had the last couple of seasons, A, these reps are invaluable, and B, you've got to keep Cooper, you've got to keep Benny, and you've got to keep Caleb healthy, and Trevor, and some of these guys who are going both ways. So with a 4-score lead, you got nothing to lose.
Yeah, and perhaps last week there was some substitution going on, I don't know. But with the challenging non-district schedule, this might be really the first opportunity for Coach Kakmarinsky to get some of these people, get some of these players some experience.
Let's check in on our Marion County Bank radio scoreboard. Carlisle 14, Indianola 6, 2:57 in the third. PCM all over Jessup 36-7. Norwalk is losing 40-7 against ADM, who lost Brevin Dahl, the future Iowa Hawkeye, but no problems. ADM is still a juggernaut in Class 4A. As we mentioned as well, if you want a more competitive game, I've said this in years past and maybe offended some people, but if you're just looking for competitive football, flip over to Pella Dutch Live and see if the Dutch can hold off Xavier. If not, let's watch some of these JV Plus here for Pella Christian as Brecken Ritzer gets the interception, and he's now rewarded at quarterback. Landon Nunakovens, his running back, on 1st and 10. Pistol formation at the Pleasantville 49-yard line. Ritzer rolls out to his left, throwing incomplete for Caleb Volk in the flat.
Well, you're pretty good with those numbers and names. I still got to get on the right page.
For a guy who doesn't cover Pella Christian full-time anymore, I'm just relying on instinct at this point, my handy-dandy roster. But
well, you were quick. You have Landon Franzman in the wideout position in place of Camden Parker.
See Toby Belzer on the offensive line. I saw him at the gas station, Garrett Wheeler, the other day. Good question for Officer Hardman. Handoff goes right side for Volk. He'll get a couple. Give him 2. What a night for Cooper Sprunk, 154 yards, 4 touchdowns. Benny Schurz, 162 yards and a touchdown. And a face mask will make the job easier here for Pella Christian. I know I said it a couple times on the broadcast. This is barring some sort of shuffling of the deck, my only Eagles broadcast this year in football. It's where I got my start with you, Larry, back in Monroe, Iowa. But a humble broadcaster in August of 2014. Now here I am in my 10th season. Tyler Crabb's done a great job covering Pella Christian athletics, and been fun to pass the torch on to someone a little bit younger and someone who has a love for Christian education, who went through the Christian education system, and someone who really is going to make this his home. So I know a lot of PC people probably haven't been, I don't know if excited's the right word, but, you know, it's hard to kind of grasp. I did a lot of work here for a lot of years, and I'll still do the occasional PC game, but My own family is growing, and honestly, I have a love for Pella High School athletics that's grown over the years, and obviously wish the Eagles nothing but the best, and glad to be back here with you, Larry. I didn't know we'd have another game together, but hey, here we go.
Well, I will say that I learned on the way down today that it was going
This
to be.
pass is complete, by the way, from Brecken Richard. What a throw on the run, completed to Caden Croyd.
Tell you what, Caden Croyd's had a big game tonight. Defensive line and from the tight end position, and he's pretty excited.
Go ahead and finish your thought, Larry, though. You're on your way here.
Yeah, I did not realize I was going to be working with you until on the way here. And
yeah.
I heard that it was going to be Andrew Schneider. So I would have been fine working with Tyler, but yeah. Working with you brings back the memories, and I can tell you a couple of them. One of them is at the Dome, of course, and the other one is at Iowa City, Regina, in a game that Pella Christian lost. I'm sure that we won't forget that one.
The Bellevue game was such a fun one to go to the Dome the second time around. Oh, that ball's on the ground, still on the ground, and Pella Christian loses a fumble. That was intended for Eli Cadwell and unfortunately hit the turf. It's a turnover with 8:44 remaining. No, good time down memory lane. Obviously, of course, I covered your great basketball teams. The 2020 state team was the last one you and I worked together on, and obviously that great run with Levi and David, and wonderful memories here on Eagle Lane as I transition to more full-time Pella community. Do know that Trevor and I will still be here every now and again, but we're so proud of Tyler and the work he's doing, and I hope you enjoy his work, especially with JD. Look forward to the next time I see Mr. Bohr, who I know had a wedding tonight. I'm guessing he's been watching on his phone wherever he is. Not to tattle on him, here's Caleb Cook, and he swarmed in the backfield as the Eagles' starting defensive unit, Larry, still on the field, and Trevor Veenstra combined with Brecken Ritzert for a tackle for a loss.
Well, I'm guessing, just one more thought, JD probably turned the phone off once Pella Christian got up 3 or now 4. But back to the game, yeah.
JD and Erica are enjoying wedding of Jaden Heisman, a former Eagles basketball player.
Yeah.
So he's where he's supposed to be. 2nd and 11, Pleasantville after the loss. Bring him back in at quarterback. Roll out to his left. Probably should have been a hold call there, but those flags maybe more inconspicuous here. Gain of 5 yards. Look at the road ahead that Tyler or Trevor is back in next week. Tyler, because I'm not on the air next week. No, I am on the air next week. Lying. Can't make up my mind. I've got one more Friday before I go into hibernation for little girl Schneider. 3rd and 4 after the gain there by Bingham on the run. 42-14 Eagles, 7:23 remaining. Pass is caught by Phil, quarterback to quarterback, up ahead to the 42-yard line. 11 yards.
That time, quick drop back, quick release, trying to beat the Eagle pressure.
Shriver Cellular Instant Radio updates. ADM 47, Norwalk 7. Knoxville 43, Hoover 0. ADM is a rapidly growing school. They're one of the smaller teams in 4A this year, and they are here to stay. That is a commanding lead. Carlisle 14, Indianola 6 on some Shriver Cellular Instant Radio updates. Bingham rolls out to his right. He's got nobody open. That should be offensive interference. Incomplete. Number 3 pushed off of Carter Bingham, pushed off of the Eagles defender, didn't get the call. It was incomplete anyway, and it brings up 2nd down. Not to be particular, but that seemed like a pretty obvious flag. We've seen a couple obvious flags on this drive that have not been thrown. I think the situation of the game is over. 6:45 remaining in the 4th. I understand why, but got to call it as I see it. And if you want the most competitive game on our airwaves tonight, head on over to 92.1 KRLS and Pella Dutch Live. Watch the Dutch have a 10-point lead at the half over perennial juggernaut Xavier. Of course, Pella had arguably, Larry, the greatest game in Iowa high school football history. Just a week after we had the heartbreak in Iowa City, Regina, Pella defeats Xavier on the last play at the Dome, and again, arguably the greatest game ever played in Iowa high school history.
I remember watching that
incredible
from the comfort of my home, but yeah.
I watched it from the comfort of the sidelines at the Unidome, and one I'll take with me to the grave. That is a special, special moment in athletics history in Iowa, let alone here in the Tulip City. Bingham had a great pass on the run, and that ball is loose. Should be incomplete.
I think so.
As poor Logan Roth was on the receiving end of a hit stick there by the Eagles defensively. Was that Sprunk who made the contact?
I think it was Benny Scherz getting the congratulations. That was a big hit.
That was a great throw by Bingham on the run. Yeah. But unfortunately, teed up poor Logan Roth, a sophomore, for a hit, and it brings up 4th down. Pleasantville is 0 of 2 on 4th down. They're now 4 of 12 on 3rd down tries.
A hit from a 6'3", 200-pound safety. Don't see too many safeties that size in Class 1A football.
Scherz had a remarkable junior campaign. One of the top touchdown scorers in the entire state, part of the top 8 Eagles team. Bingham looking for some space in the 1st down. There's a flag, it won't matter. As Cooper Sprunk teams up with Garrett Wheelard, that penalty will be declined.
Good job by Keegan Fatma, drew the holding penalty.
Man, oh man, oh man, I know what I am doing after this. I might go drive over to Pella High School. Pella 24, Xavier 7 in the 3rd.
Well, Xavier does have one loss on the season. The Williamsburg ball.
Yeah, they lost to Williamsburg.
So maybe, I'm not diminishing Pella's effort, obviously, but yeah. Xavier, we'll see how things play out.
Our score here is 42-14. There's still a lot of game left over there on Pella High School, but for a more competitive game, Eagles fans, again, not meaning to offend you, if you want to watch some of these youngsters, we'll call them. Eli Cadwell gets a carry. But if you're looking for what could be the upset of the year in Class 4A football, flip over to Pella Dutch Live. What a night here, though, for PC, Larry. The second half, just the first 4 drives.
There's only one error, and that was the fumble by the second-string offense years ago.
When the game was still in hand, as Ritzert's at quarterback, Brecken Ritzert rolls out to his right, looking for an edge, going for it all. That's going to be picked off by Bingham. Good play by Bingham, the freshman, Braylon Bingham, but that was maybe as easy of an interception as he'll ever make.
Yeah, that ball had to go up over the top.
That's a hard throw to make.
Yeah,
so
that was difficult on the run, exactly. Brecken's a young quarterback. He'll learn. He's the sophomore. Caleb Van Arendonk's the senior, so probably Brecken's job to have next year.
First and 10. Pella Christian or Pleasantville has it at their own 12-yard line. The option here for Tyler Crabb, I told him to go over to Pella High School. He can also, if he wants to just stay here and do this, he can, but I think he's going to go take the other assignment. We have a Pella Motors timeout. Andrew Schneider and Tyler Crabb working on the camera here with Larry Hessing as a Pella Motors timeout. I mean, up to you, Tyler. I can go over to Pella High School. I got the gear right here for you. He's on his way. Not that I want to leave here, but give them a little treat for you Pella Christian fans over here. So got quite the game on our Marion County Bank Radio scoreboard. So, Larry, we look at this district, and now the showdown comes in a couple weeks when the Eagles head over to the home of the Cobras. You look ahead here to not to go too far in the crystal ball, but with a win tonight, and if Pella Christian can stay healthy and hold serve, they probably already earned themselves a home game in the playoffs, but they really want to have the first 2 at home if they can.
Yeah, and this has turned into kind of a statement win for Pella Christian, I guess you could say. Thinking Pleasantville, Sigourney, Keota, and Pella Christian are the top 3 teams in the district, but Keota's always been kind of a bugaboo for me.
Especially recently.
Yes. So be an interesting game. I'm not sure how healthy Pella Christian will be at that point. Hopefully Christian can get a couple players back soon.
Offsides, by the way, on the defense. 5-yard penalty. We're back here on 92.1 K or KNICareless.com and the Pella Christian YouTube. 1st and 5. Looks like we might have some technical issues here on the video stream, so we'll. Oh, never mind. They're back. Third quarterback in for the Trojans. We're playing JV plus here. That's number 12, Braylon Lindsay, a junior, 6'3", 185. Owen Rule the tailback now. So 42-14 is our score here.
Camden Parker is playing some safety, I think, here at Wheeler.
Second and 3 for the Trojans as they are down by 4 scores in what was a competitive game. It was 14 all at the half. Pleasantville had the ball at the halftime break as it looks like Rule again with the carry. Loses a couple. Pella Christian had 2 one-play drives. They had a 5-play drive right out of the break. Got a bunch of stops, a turnover. Cooper Sprunk scored 4 touchdowns in the game, in case you missed it, presented by Tri-County Veterinary Clinic. If we see this second half team from Pella Christian, this is the best half they've played this season so far in terms of Des Moines Christian. They were pretty good, but kind of let the Lions back into it. This is by far the most complete, maybe 15-minute stretch of the season so far for this team.
I just say great adjustments at halftime by the coaching staff and the players. Obviously bought in, listened, executed. Half has been dominant by Pella Christian.
Pella Christian's going to find their way climbing up into all kinds of rankings after this game as Eli Cadwell made a stop. Carry was number 42, Dawson Schrader. Brings up 4th down. JD and Tyler are going to have, I think, a real fun stretch here. Pella Christian looks to get back to the top of a district they have not won in several years. Even with the great teams they had, Larry, they were a second-place team last year, if you recall. Losing a couple times to Sigourney Kyoto. That's going to be the game to circle on your calendar. This punt is a sidewinder. Bounce out of bounds at about the 37-yard line of Pella Christian. With 3:25, clock needs to stop, but no one seems to notice until it's a little late.
Everybody's a little anxious to get home at this point. Well, let's see if Pella Christian can get a 1st down and run the clock out. Although Brecken Ritzert has been given the green light to throw some passes here. Like that.
Yeah, just
your
give him
backup
some work.
quarterback. Give it more than just turn around and hand the ball off.
Straver Cellular instant radio updates. PCM 43-7 over Jessup in the 3rd. ADM 47 Norwalk 14th in the 4th. Knoxville over Hoover continuous clock, and that's a final 43-0. Panthers get their 2nd win of the year.
Quarterback actually Pella Christian now is freshman Jude Lubbers. If I'm seeing correctly, number 3.
Hey Jude. Yeah, we're really down the lineup here. Elias Keegan I see out there at receiver. Or Connor Knipper. 2:46 and counting as Pella Christian looking just to milk the clock here with their really going into the JV bench here. 32, Skyless Shelker. He'll actually a false start they didn't call, but okay. Jude has his pass incomplete. Wyatt Bonnet's out there at wide receiver. Let's see here, clock stops at 2:27 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Pella Christian with a 42-14 lead. Our Captain Design of Pella Radio post-game show. Coach Cack up here. Coach Mack. Down a big win for the Eagles. Handoff goes to number 10. That's Wyatt Bonnet. Number 67, Brandon Geider is out there. Brings up 4th down. Someone on Highway 163 enjoying the game from their semi-truck.
Invariably, we get honking action from some tractor trailer rig as they go by. I think they are just harking back to the days where they played football.
Wishing they were under the Friday night lights on a beautiful night as we are here on Eagle Lane. Fourth down, Pella Christian. A Pella Motors timeout as time was about to expire. So as it stands, should be a fun stretch here. We're past the midway point of the 2023 regular season for 1A teams. Say that with a gasp as we're reminded of time's inevitable march. But PC is in prime position. They'll be 3-1 on the year. Pleasantville, we haven't talked a lot about the other side for them, but this is a humbling loss. I think they played a great first half. I think that they looked like a team that belonged on this field, and a lot of credit has to go to PC, I think, for how they played. For Pleasantville, you got to pick up the pieces and recognize that the season's not over. You're going to be a playoff team more than likely. But now you're going to have to fight to try and be that number 2 seed in this district, and you're already behind with Pella Christian, and got to find a way to knock off Sigourney Keota at some point. And speaking of Sigourney Keota, not to cut you off, that's 2 weeks away for Pella Christian. So
I think if I'm the Pleasantville coaching staff, I go back and tell my guys, hey, played well the first half. We need to bottle that up and keep playing like that.
Well, the snap, not good for Pella Christian as Keegan lost some yardage. Back to his own 30-yard line. So coming up next week, it's Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont, right back here on Eagle Lane. Our coverage will begin at 6:30 on, I believe, KNIA right back here on the Pella Christian YouTube channel. I believe it's Tyler Crabb and J.D. Bohr. All there. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's ahead here for the Trojans. Pleasantville will fall to 2-2. Trojans, I guess I didn't check the schedule ahead of time. Bad prep on me. This is going to be a tough turnaround. They've got the Cobras. They have them at home, but they've got the Cobras next week. So Pleasantville next week will learn whether or not they're playing for third or if they're still in the hunt for first. They're going to need a win next week against the prohibitive favorite coming into the preseason, the 2-time defending district champions, Sigourney Keota. That was not a final score. It's Pleasantville 50, Hoover 0, by the way. Starting the fourth quarter there. Pleasantville gets a pass complete here to number 35, Trey Mesher. Quarterback again is number 12, Braylon Lindsay, the third stringer here for Coach Mac Jorth. Minute 7 remaining. Trojans are going to try and make it more respectable here. Scoreboard in a 42-14 second half Eagle thrashing here at PCHS. 2 receivers in an I formation. Number 12, Braylon Lindsay. Off goes right side. Not much there for J.J. Phillips, who will get 3 more. 35 seconds remaining here in the ballgame.
I think by 6. Sophomore.
We have continuous clock rolling still over in Monroe. PCM 50, Jessup 7. Fourth quarter. 2nd and 7. Phillips, awkward handoff, and then had a nice run up to the 5-yard line for Pleasantville. That'll stop the clock with 10 seconds remaining. Can the Trojans squeak in a touchdown here before we send ourselves into week 5 of the 2023 season? Pleasantville will rush up to the line of scrimmage, but it did not matter. What a second half for the home team as Pella Christian dominates their way to a 42-14 win over Pleasantville. your Captain's Eye Pella Radio postgame show when we come back.
When it comes to your broadband connection, numbers definitely matter. With Pella Fiber, every residential customer gets gigabit speeds for only $75 per month. Working or schooling from home, gigabit speeds up and down make sharing files and meeting online hassle-free. And forget about the weather, fiber optic broadband isn't affected by it. Pella Fiber is your community-owned, fiber-only broadband provider, so their only priority is you. They don't do data caps or throttling, so your last download of the month is as fast as your first. Visit PellaFiber.com today to learn more.
Hi, this is Tim Tice, owner of Culver's Restaurant here in Pella. Fall is one of my favorite times of the year. I love watching football and I love going to football games. Like many of you, I'm a huge fan of the Dutch, the Eagles, and the Central Dutch. If you're looking for a quick meal on your way to the game or a tasty treat when it's over, stop into Culver's in Pella. We'll make you a fresh, never frozen burger just how you want it, one of our famous concrete mixers, or any of our other great menu items. We're locally owned and involved in your community. Culver's Restaurant in Pella.
Are you ready to make your dream home a reality? I'm Ryan Shields with Washington State Bank. Whether you're buying or building, we're here to help you with your real estate needs. Just visit our website at washsb.com and fill out the easy information request form, or swing by our branch at 703 Main Street in Pella. You can also call us at 641-215-5004 for more details. Washington State Bank, invested in you, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Are you a new or expecting parent or recently had a little one? Join Pella Regional Health Center for a baby fair on Saturday, September 16th from 9 until noon at the main entrance lobby located at 404 Jefferson Street in Pella. Take a tour of the beautiful boutique-inspired family birthing center, learn about resources available to you, explore vendor booths, and ask questions to our medical providers and staff. Awesome giveaways and a grand prize drawing for a Graco Pack and Play. Learn more at pellahealth.org/babyfair.
Mike Blom with Cabinet Design of Pella and Wood Harbor Cabinetry is just as attentive and imaginative as you are when it comes to your remodel. Just ask Justin Plate of Pella.
I've known Mike for a lot of years, and he's just known for high quality and attention to detail, and I'm kind of a perfectionist type person. I really like things done the right way. I've known him to be very high attention to detail and have been really impressed through that whole project.
Hi, I'm Mike Blom, the Cabinet Guy. Cabinet Design of Pella, where we expand and enhance your ideas beyond your expectations.
Could you be earning higher interest rates on your checking and savings accounts with our exclusive Lighten Rewards? Our Lighten Cashback, Lighten Interest, and Lighten Savings accounts are all designed to reward you for the transactions you're probably already doing, like swiping your debit card, receiving e-statements, and making payments by ACH debit. Visit lightenbank.com to start your account opening today. Member FDIC.
Raceway Tire and Exhaust in Knoxville supports all the Marion County athletic teams and athletes competing this year. The values of hard work, sportsmanship, and perseverance will help them not only on the field, but in life for years to come. When you want these values in your automotive service, look no further than Raceway Tire and Exhaust, your one-stop auto headquarters located at 1318 West Bell Avenue in Knoxville, or at racewaytireandexhaust.com.
Raceway Tire and Exhaust.
We got what you need
to get you on the go.
Do you need new gear to show off your love for Pella or Pella Christian? At Windmill Print and Stitch, you can shop our online apparel store and pick up your order the same day at our facility in Pella. And we'll give 10% back to the local schools. Go to the Windmill Print and Stitch Facebook page and look for the link for Pella and Pella Christian fanwear. Shop online and pick up your order the same day. Windmill Print and Stitch in Pella, proud supporters of the Dutch and Eagles.
This is the Cabinet Design of Pella Radio postgame show where they expand and enhance your ideas beyond your expectations. Call Mike Blom, the Cabinet Guy at Cabinet Design of Pella. Andrew Schneider alongside Larry Hessing in what turned into a lopsided affair. Pella Christian and Pleasantville tied at the half at 14, and then it was all PC from there, 42-12. So I'll eat some crow in the sense of we called more of a close game, and that's what it appeared to be on paper, and it was for the first half, but credit Pella Christian. They played a remarkable second half of football, and if they can play at that level for the next 5 weeks, they can have a district championship and a road to the Dome.
I think that second half could be a real springboard into Pella Christian's future schedule, and I think there's probably 3 very manageable games, shall we say, and then there's that game 2 weeks from tonight at Sigourney. think that's the game that we're all looking forward to, but one step at a time. But I think that Pella Christian could have launched themselves into something really.
Let's take a look at your final stats presented by the Verduff Agency. Pella Christian finishes with 408 yards of total offense to 184 for Pleasantville, 60 plays for PC, 58 for Pleasantville. Of course, some big plays. 326 on the ground for the Eagles, 71 for Pleasantville, 113 through the air for the Trojans, 82 for the Eagles. Let's look at some of the individual numbers. Benny Schurz, 155 yards, one touchdown. Cooper Sprunk at 141 and 4 scores for Pella Christian. Braylon Bingham finished 5 of 13 after starting 3 of 5 and had a big first half, not so great in the second half. Caleb Van Arendonk was 8 of 9 passing for 63 yards as well. Each team had an interception thrown. Each team had a fumble recovery as well. Our final score was 42-14 Pella Christian. Your final stats are presented by the Verduff Agency. Let Chad, Lance, or Larry examine your stats and customize an insurance plan for you. The Verduff Agency, providing complete courteous service to the Pella area for 100 years. Larry, let's take a look at our Hormel Foods radio key play and player of the game. Key play was that first drive, that defensive stop, Larry, at the beginning of the third quarter into the touchdown drive, into another stop, into a touchdown drive. It took a competitive 14-14 game and busted it open in a matter of about 10 or 15 plays.
Yeah, you mentioned that first drive in the second half was critical, and Pella Christian got the stop, turned it right into a touchdown. They repeated that. All of a sudden, it was a 14-point game, and momentum was all on Pella Christian.
Cooper Sprunk is our key player of the game. Not much argument there. There was some holes that certainly helped him, but Cooper offensively, defensively was all over the field on a night where Johnson Morgan couldn't go. He's been dealing with some injuries. Had a sack on defense, 140-plus yards, 4 touchdowns. I think tackles-wise finished with the team lead at 6. So Cooper Sprunk, although Benny Schurz is a good maybe number 2 player on that list, tonight it was all about Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper's had an outstanding season. Impressed with him. Year of extended varsity act. I've seen him as a hitter on defense. Got speed, and he's tonight. He really showed his skill set on the offensive side, running the football, and he had a great move. I know on that first touchdown run, second half, where he shed a block.
That's our Hormel Foods radio key play and player of the game. Looking for the key to your new career, visit HormelJobsKnoxville.com. Larry, I'm sad it's over, but glad it happened. It was good to reunite with you, the Hall of Famer. You and I have obviously had a great time in this booth for many, many years, and they let us wear the hats one more time on Eagle Lane at least, and look forward to the next time we cross paths.
All right, thank you, Andrew.
Head coach of the Pleasantville Trojans, Mac Jorth, joins us when we come back after this. Pella Christian wins 42-14. Thank you, Larry.
Center in Newton. Explore a stunning array of perennials, trees, and shrubs to transform your outdoor space. From garden essentials to indoor plant treasures, find all you need for a flourishing garden and home. And now you can elevate you or your friend's surroundings with captivating fresh floral arrangements expertly crafted just for you. Stop by the Flower Court Garden Center and Fresh Flowers to get your color's worth.
Are you a Pella Cooperative Electric member? Grab your keys and head over to the co-op on Saturday, September 16th for our member appreciation drive-through barbecue. The Marion County Cattlemen will be grilling up top-notch hamburgers and hot dogs from locally sourced beef. Stop by anytime from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. or until supplies last. We'll also be giving away bill credits on our Facebook page the week of the event, so watch our page for details. We'll see you on Saturday, September 16th. Owned by those we serve, we are Pella Cooperative Electric.
And welcome back to the Captain's Eye Pella Radio postgame show on KNIA It's our continuing coverage of Pleasantville football on KNIA. Here with Mac Jorth, head coach of the Pleasantville Trojans, following a tough loss here to Pella Christian, 42-14. And Coach, if I would have talked to you at halftime, I'm sure you've been very happy. A back-and-forth game. Your team took advantage of a turnover, a great 2-minute drill, tied at 14 on the road against a team I know you've struggled with the last couple of seasons. Everything was looking good, but the Pella Christian Eagles came out a step better in the second half and really took it to you in that third quarter. Your thoughts about what went so well on that first half and what you were unable to sustain there in the second?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We were just able to move the ball effectively. In the second half, we had a lot of trouble doing that. Credit to Pella Christian. We had a hard time getting going on the ground, and they were doing a real nice job up front, flying to the football, and we were just having a tough time keeping them out of the way and out of the hole. And open up running lanes for him. So they did a better job than us on that. And then just being able to make plays when we had to, we just couldn't quite do that. And we just had some discombobulation going on, and then some injuries really compounded that, and it got bad real quick. So we've just got to be able to keep that from happening, and we'll go back, look at the tape, and find out really exactly why that happened in great detail and try to do a better job of keeping it from happening in the future.
Well, and it felt like in that first half, you made a switch at quarterback. Not that Braylon Bingham hasn't played this year. He's had, obviously, quite a few snaps. But it seemed like early on, Ryder was struggling a little bit to throw the football. Braylon came on, and you don't see a lot of freshmen with Braylon's poise. And in that first half, he was really a kickstarter for your offense. It seemed like PC was going to make sure that Caleb was not going to beat them. They really focused in on your senior, and he had a freshman step up nicely in that first half and do a really nice job at quarterback.
Yeah, so having two quarterbacks is always a little difficult for some reasons, but it's also really good when you have that much talent. And so we know what Braylon Bingham is capable of. He's a phenomenal athlete and a phenomenal young man. And we've always just been trying to keep him coming along as a freshman. I don't care what anybody else says. Playing varsity football as a freshman is a big step, and capable of doing that because he's a special athlete. But we've been just wanting to bring him along at the right pace, and game flow this game was just such that he really got his opportunities at the end of the first half and really made the most of it and did a real nice job. So we're just excited to have both of them. Ryder has done a phenomenal job all year, and he's just a great young man. And he was able to hop in there and help us at receiver when Braylon played. So we just got to keep trying to help them both come along and do what they need to do to be successful.
I thought a couple really pivotal plays in that first half. Pella Christian muffs the punt. You get the turnover. You cash in. It took Pella Christian because they were starting to move the football from maybe running away from the game in the first half to making it a game. And then right before that 2-minute drill, those were the two standout drives to me, at least up here in the booth, putting together a 2-minute drill again with a freshman at quarterback. He had a huge throw as a part of it. But I imagine, again, you're not obviously happy with the second half, but flashes of what this team can be, taking advantage of a turnover on the road against a perennial powerhouse program, and then to do a 2-minute drill like that with a freshman at quarterback has to be pretty impressive.
Yeah, and that's definitely what we're trying to get done is, execute whatever the situation is, and we got two different guys that can do that, and we just have to be able to do that for the whole game against really good opposition, and we know we're a better team than this, and we're just going to have to bounce back next week, and I know we will. I got confidence in our boys. They're a good group of dudes, and they'll come back next week ready and hungry and doing everything they can to take on another tough opponent next week.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a second, the learning curve in the second half. We obviously don't want to talk much more about it from the sense that Pella Christian obviously dominating, but what's the learning tool then there, especially for a team that has a mix of some seniors, but obviously a lot of young players, sophomores and freshmen who are in big roles? What's that learning tool, right? You go into the second half with everything you want, the football, a chance to take the lead on the road and make this a really competitive game. It doesn't happen. You really didn't have a lot of success on either side of the football. So as a coaching staff, what do you do to talk to them after a half like that to realize that, hey, for half this game, you were right there.
Yep.
We just got to execute for 4 quarters.
And, yeah, we'll just go back and find out all the little things that went wrong in the second half and try to fix them, right? So making sure that we just learn from it as best we can, and then as quick as possible, forget it and move on. We've got to put this in our rearview mirror. We've got to go forward with the lessons that we need to learn from it, but we got to go forward as fast as possible and take on another really good opponent. So it's tough. You got to take those learning opportunities when you get them and just move forward.
And for all the success that Pella Christian's had in this district the last 2 years, they have not been the district champion. That's who your foe is coming up in a week. Sigourney Keota and the Cobras coming in. Coach, they're always a load. They have the single wing. It's a classic formation they've run since, I think, before your time and my time and all the above.
Yep.
They do it better than just about anybody in the state. And talk about no rest for the weary. You've got a great Cobras team that's coming to your home field. Your thoughts about what you need to do to pick yourself up and keep yourself in this district race?
Yeah, well, we need to get healthy, and we need to get healthy mentally and physically, make sure that we're in a good spot, believe in each other, believe in ourselves, and then make sure the bodies are ready to go because it's 3 in a row. Linville was very physical, Pella Christian very physical, and Sigourney will be no different. So we just got to get our bodies and minds healthy, and we got to get ready to prepare for an offense that is very tough to stop and a defense that gets after you.
And I know it's hard to say, easier said than done, but a lot of teams in this district have not had the secret sauce to stopping that offense. Defensively, what are the things this week you're going to be heading into and focusing in on, knowing that they do maybe 4 or 5 plays from that formation, Coach, but they do them so awfully well with that deception and the spin back. Your thoughts about what it takes to slow down a team like the Cobras?
Well, you got to be very disciplined. You know, you got to stay home. You got to know your responsibility. You got to take care of your responsibility. You got to read your keys and fly to football. And you got to have guys that are willing to win some dogfights. I mean, when you got that much happening in a closed, confined bit of space, you got to win some blocks. You got to win your one-on-ones. You got to beat some dudes. You got to be more physical, and you got to try to shut them down that way, because what they're going to do, they're going to do well, and they know who they got to get to and how they do it. We just got to beat them at that.
That's head coach Mac Jorth of the Pleasantville Trojans following a tough one here on Eagle Lane, 42-14. Coach, fun to see your guys play well in that first half. I know better days ahead for your program. Clayton will get a chance to talk to you next week. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it.
We'll have more of the Captain Design Pella radio postgame show after this on Eagle Lane.
The horn on the car goes beep, 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 beep. The horn on the car goes beep, beep, beep at Central Tire and Auto.
You probably don't need your horn fixed, but if you do, Central Tire and Auto can help with your horn and almost any other issue you have. For tires, front end work, there are no appointment oil change, and full mechanical work on your vehicle. Stop and see Sean DeWard and his crew next to Walmart in Pella. Everybody now.
Central Tire and Auto.
Pepper salads, pasta now. Pepper nachos, pizza, wow. You can pepper anything, pepperoni. Pep it up, it's the one and only. Pep it up, Hormel pepperoni.
And we're back inside our Captain Design Pella radio postgame show on KNIA KRLS. It's our continuing coverage of Pella Christian football, powered by Hy-Vee, here with head coach Rich Kakmarinsky, following a dominant second half, 42-14 victory over Pleasantville. And Coach Kak, we talked about it all week. On paper, it could have been a close game. Pleasantville is as good as they've been probably in 3 or 4 years. Certainly a much better, improved team that you saw coming into the field. They showed it for 2 quarters. Your guys responded, though, to some great challenges. Your thoughts about that second half they put together and the way your guys bounced back from some of that adversity in the first half?
Yeah, I thought our guys really responded well to halftime. We made a few adjustments at halftime. Obviously, we actually weren't playing bad. The muff punt return that we gave them the ball on the 20-yard line, that was very costly. I think potentially we could have shut them out in the first half had we not had that. But I thought our defense responded. Get the shutout in the second half. Offensively, made a few adjustments, and boy, I think our offense really came alive. I think maybe everybody saw what our offense can do when they're all hitting on all cylinders. We were missing Isaiah Breams tonight, and that was that hurt us a little bit early on. We got some things fixed at halftime, but I thought Noah Nunakoven and Caden Crew had played very well there in the second half, as well as obviously our whole line. Caleb Van Arendonk, I thought, looked sharp. He was 8 of 9 throwing the football. That's very sharp. And, of course, Benny and Cooper both went over 100 yards rushing. So those are 2 big guns right there.
Yeah, the 2 stars of this game, obviously, at least scoring-wise, became Benny and Cooper. And especially for Cooper, a guy who, coming into the season, I'm guessing you didn't envision as being your 20-carry back, especially with Johnson and the way he performed in Week 1. Cooper, though, has been all over the field on both sides of the football. And I was kind of joking that they're going to have to stretch him out at halftime because of all the plays that he was in on. But talk about a guy who's really grown from sophomore to junior year, especially we talked about it in our pregame. You've got 17 starters missing from this team. You needed some of those guys from last year to step up, and Cooper had the best game of his career so far here this evening.
Well, we've been talking all really for 7 weeks that Cooper's going to be a heck of a running back. He's been playing lights out on defense all 4 games. But tonight was a really kind of a coming out party. And really, as much as that was for Cooper, it was really for our inner 3 guys on the offensive line too. Trey Van Manen at center, and Josiah Vink at left guard, and Connor Van Zee at right guard, because we were able to finally get our trap play going up the middle, which really sparked us in a lot of different ways. And really took them out of their blitzing game, because they were able to slow us down in the first quarter with their blitzing game, and we were able to crease them a couple of times with the trap, and that really, I thought, slowed them down. So I was really happy for Cooper, really happy for our offensive line. And I thought Caleb Vanderdonk really managed the game very, very well. Really had some timely runs when he had a chance to run. Like I said, he went 8 of 9 throwing the football. So very efficient. If we can be that efficient in our quarterback spot with the amount of talent that we have on this offense, we're going to be tough to stop.
here with Rich Kakmarinsky, head coach of the Eagles, following a 42-14 win. A pivotal moment in the game. Pleasantville gets a great 2-minute drill. A freshman quarterback, Braylon Bingham, leads them down the field. They tie the game at 14-all going into the halftime. Your defense needed to make a stand, and Pleasantville obviously had some success moving the football. It was a completely different defense, and it was the best defensive quarter you've probably played all season so far.
Agreed.
And a critical couple stops there that turned the game on its head.
Absolutely. Actually, we got 3 stops in a row. Unfortunately, we were able to score all 3 times. So it was like, kick the ball off, stop, get the punt return, score, rinse and repeat. I just thought our defense. I was sitting on the sidelines with the offensive coaches in the third quarter, getting our plays calls for the next series. I said over to my offensive coaches, man, our defense just tighten up. They could not run the football, and then once they couldn't run the football, we were able to generate some pass rush. They're a much improved team, as you said, and Coach George has done a heck of a job over there. They have a bright future, but I thought our defense really stepped up in the third quarter. Then, of course, our offense they followed suit.
Yeah, and it quickly went from a game that was really close to a blowout. And obviously, you didn't know coming into the season maybe how many of those games you were going to have, especially with a team like Pleasantville, who's so much improved. And when you're not as deep right now in the varsity, you're building that depth. How critical was it to have that whole fourth quarter for Brecken and for that second wave on offense, and even some of your third stringers to come in to get some time? Again, this year you come into the season, you're like, I don't know if we're going to beat anybody 35-0 or have that kind of game. How critical are those reps and snaps, especially with some injuries and some guys that get against a good team?
Well, it was critical because a lot of our sophomores have not got to play, and so I was really happy to get those guys in the game. They're good players. They're our future. And then we actually got a series with the freshmen, too. That was really exciting. They're coming along very nicely as well. So, we're trying to build this team, trying to build our future. So that fourth quarter was awesome to get it. We had 2 series with the 2s and then a series with the freshmen. So that was really great. We're excited about those young guys. Obviously they're our future. But even later on this year, to your point, building depth for the district run and for playoffs. Some of those guys, as you saw, good special team players, good open field tacklers, and we're learning our offense, learning our defense for the future years, which is exciting.
Well, you talked to me about this, the importance of winning every game in the district. You got to take it one at a time. But the last 2 years, Sigourney-Keota has been an undefeated district champion. You got 2 weeks to go until then. You can't overlook the opponent in front of you, Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont. If you're going to have a chance at that district championship, you got to play well a week from now. How do you carry this momentum against the Rockets team that maybe hasn't had a lot of success in football, but has had a good athletic tradition these last couple of years? And they're going to bring something you haven't seen in a long time. I can't think of the last time you played the Rockets on the gridiron. It's an unfamiliar foe coming up Friday.
Yeah. Well, I think, honestly, we are playing Eddyville Blakesburg next Friday, but really I feel like we're playing ourselves. I feel like our guys did a good job this week of rebounding from the Grundy Center loss and focusing on things that were important that we needed to get fixed. We spent a lot of time in the film room. They went out and practiced and got better. We need to follow that same recipe this next week. We need to pour through this film tonight from Pleasantville and fix our mistakes and just keep getting better. Which I think we will. I think our guys are extremely motivated. We got great senior leaders, and our young guys are rallying. So it's an exciting time. We're 1-0 in the district. We're right where we want to be. We're not going to definitely overlook Eddyville Blakesburg. We're going to take care of business. Thankfully, we got a 2-game homestand here, so we're back here next Friday night. And then we go to Sigourney. So a lot to play for, right where we want to be. And I really like this team. I don't think we've not even started to scratch the surface of our potential. I think you saw some flashes tonight of what we can do when we all play together and do what we're supposed to do assignment-wise.
Tyler and JD will enjoy it. Larry and I had a great time. We're reuniting here as well. Pella Christian 42, Pleasantville 14. That's head coach Rich Kakmarinsky. This interview powered by Hy-Vee. Coach Kak, it was great to put the headset back on for the only time this year for the Eagles, but certainly great to be back with your program again and wish you all the great success. And hopefully Tyler and JD are talking district championship run. It should be a lot of fun.
Hey, thank you for your coverage.
And we will wrap things up from Eagle Lane after this on our Captain Design Pella postgame show.
Grow strong with us. Light and State Bank. Light and State Bank.
Could you be earning higher interest rates on your checking and savings accounts with our exclusive Lighten Rewards? Our Lighten Cashback, Lighten Interest, and Lighten Savings accounts are all designed to reward you for the transactions you're probably already doing, like swiping your debit card, receiving e-statements, and making payments by ACH debit. Visit lightenbank.com to start your account opening today. Member FDIC.
Raceway Tire and Exhaust in Knoxville supports all the Marion County athletic teams and athletes competing this year. The values of hard work, sportsmanship, and perseverance will help them not only on the field, but in life for years to come. When you want these values in your automotive service, look no further than Raceway Tire and Exhaust, your one-stop auto headquarters located at 1318 West Bell Avenue in Knoxville, or at racewaytireandexhaust.com.
Raceway Tire and Exhaust. We got what you need to get you on the go.
And this will wrap up our Cabinet Design of Pella Radio postgame show, where they expand and enhance your ideas beyond your expectations. Call Mike Blom, the cabinet guy at Cabinet Design of Pella. Your final score, Pella Christian 42, Pleasantville 14. The Trojans are next in action at home as they take on Sigourney Keota. We'll have updates throughout the night on KNIA KRLS. Pella Christian's right back here at home on KRLS 2 as they take on Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont. We're going to send it over to the guys in the studio and hopefully have your scoreboard show. Recommend you flip things over as Pella scores a touchdown, 6 for the Dutch. Touchdown, Pella. The Dutch are up by 9 with 5:45 remaining over Xavier. Make sure you flip on over to Pella Dutch Live and KNIA KRLS. A fun finale on its way over at Pella High School. It's been fun to be back on Eagle Lane. Great to reunite with the great Larry Hessing. Thanks again to all the Eagles fans who have supported me throughout my career. Obviously, I've kind of alluded to it, but wanted to make the announcement that Tyler Crabb really going to take things over here on Eagle Lane the next month or so. So make sure you give him a lot of love as he transitions into this role. You've been listening to Pella Christian Football and the one to count on for today's local sports and the home of the Eagles, KNIA KRLS. In closing, presented by Light and State Bank, grow strong with us. We'll see you next Friday night on Iowa High School football action on the one to count on for today's local sports.